November 10th. I'll call this meeting of the Madison Board of Selectmen to order. First order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Approval of minutes from October 28th. It's a 3 o'clock meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Jim.
Second.
Second by Jake. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll
Opposed?
abstain as I was not there.
Good.
Do we want to make that a no vote, Joy, per advice from council?
I thought that was just in the manifest, or Linda, that's also on minutes?
Pretty much anything. It's very rare that you would abstain, is what he was saying, but,
And then,
Your call, but
I guess I don't vote to approve as I was not there at the meeting.
all right. Approval of October 28th, 4:30 meeting.
I will make a motion to approve.
second.
Motion by Joy, second by Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Manifest. Payroll, $37,246.77. Payroll liabilities, $10,881.62. Accounts payable, $49,996.18. $100,000 to Madison School District for a total of $198,124.57.
Linda, did we get the invoice or the documentation for the reimbursement for fire and rescue?
no, we didn't get anything, so it's not included in
Okay.
anyways.
So I'll make a motion.
Motion by Jim,
Second that.
second by Jake. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Just to comment on that, so the school was 100,000 versus the 325, we talked with them, because we're running out of money. So they were willing to do 100,000 this week, 100,000 in 2 weeks, and then once we have the tax rate, we'll have a whole new schedule anyways, because we'll have a real number to work from, and we'll renegotiate the whole thing for weekly payments.
Alright. Public comment. Seeing none. Discussion items, new business. David Smolin and Gibson Center pilots.
Hi, should I just come up here or you? How are you?
Is he good where he is, or do you want him to come to the mic?
Yeah, if you could just talk towards the mic, you'd be good.
Oh, the mic's right there. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Okay. So thanks for your time. So my name's David Smolin. I'm the executive director of the Gibson Center in North Conway. And that also makes me the executive director of the Silver Lake Senior Housing Corporation. Silver Lake is its own 501c3. So here tonight, 'cause I want to discuss two things. One is we are interested in gauging your interest in looking into a community development block grant for Silver Lake. There is one unit there, the former apartment that was occupied by the Andersons. Maybe some of you might remember Harry and Barbara Anderson. That unit is it's been vacant for a while now. And so that unit is basically 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on 2 floors. And I'm pretty sure it was basically the original lobby of the building when it was a motel.
Yes.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting because the stairway is super wide, so it's kind of weird for an apartment, you know. So we are interested in potentially redeveloping that space into 2 units of affordable housing and 2 apartments. And one way to do that is through the Community Development Finance Authority and using the Community Development Block Grant process. But the block grant process requires you to go through the town, which actually happened in 1989 between the Andersons and the town of Madison got a CDBG grant. I don't know, the total history of Silver Lake, so forgive me if I mess anything up here. But so we would be interested in developing that unit into 2 apartments of affordable housing. And so we're interested in I'm just throwing that out there today and seeing if you're at all interested in that. I don't need a response tonight, and I'm just putting that out there, so think about it. So the other thing I want to, and ties into our other interest, is renegotiating the pilot agreement between the town and Silver Lake. So the landing has experienced a certain degree of financial headwinds, you might say, and we've lost some revenue. And so we're looking for ways that we can, to offset that loss of revenue, we are interested in finding a way to reduce our expenses. One potential area where we could do that would be in the pilot agreement, where, and I'm not asking for 0 here, to be clear, but basically, we have the pilot agreement basically it's about 10% of the gross rent. And so we would be looking as a way to offset the loss of some of our revenue, around 5%. And however, if we can move forward on, if there's a way to get those 2 new units occupied and developed, it would be a way to generate more revenue for the landing. And so even if we agree to reduce the percent, that could offset that amount. From about 10% to 5% would be about $9,000, which by my calculation would be approximately just under a penny on the tax rate. Although of course no 2 years are the same, but all things being equal would be about just a little under a penny. So so we're trying to increase affordable housing in the Mount Washington Valley, and also improve the finances of Silver Lake. It is run on a shoestring, I can assure you. And we're really proud to have, the Gibson Center has been doing this for 20 years, and we'd like to continue doing it. And but we could use a little help, basically. So that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about it.
Any questions from the board?
So I'm hearing $9,000 reduction in a year, but how much increase would you be getting it from the 2 apartments?
Well, right now, that would be, it would take some time to make that happen. I mean, because that's not something that happens overnight, but we would be interested in, right now, the rents are $900 for 2-bedroom units, and it's $875 for 1-bedroom. So we'd still need to figure out, there are a lot of details to be worked out, like would they both be 1-bedrooms? Would they be a 2-bed? We'd have to figure that out. The idea would be to, we'd hire someone like Sean Bergeron or, someone like that to run the project for us, and we'd, those are details we haven't gotten into yet. But we'd be looking at, so if you figure $900 unit, 12 months, that's $10,800. So theoretically, in today's dollars, maybe $21,600 in revenue, for 2 units, today, let's just say, or approximately in that range, yeah.
And the bedroom question wouldn't be simply answered by your septic design? What you would be allowed to do?
I believe, I'm sure, I would think.
Rather than having to hire somebody it'd just be like, you can do this or you can do that, or you can't do 2 bedrooms because.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
well, that would be another detail. A lot of details, to be worked out, and, just very just conceptual at this point, you know, like, yeah. So.
Okay, thanks.
So Linda, this is,
It's just a snapshot of over the years,
the
what
assessment.
what the pilot was each year.
So you've got the assessed value for the past 15 years, the taxes, what the taxes would have been if they were paid, what the pilot agreement covered of it. And started off, it was really close, 95%. Now it looks like we're down to, the pilot's only covering about 60-something% of the property taxes. So we're falling behind the game a little bit on it.
If that was the original goal of the pilot, though, if it was to just cover the taxes, or if it was more or less just to be, what am I trying to say, helpful to the town, because if I'm
Yes.
correct, the organization that you are, you could claim it and not have to pay taxes?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, I don't wanna go that far. But I would say, one thing I do know about when the pilot agreement took place 20 years ago, there was someone who was a student, who was sort of grandfathered in terms of living there, who was a special needs student, and I think that was, and that person has long since aged out. I do believe that was a part of the, you know, the understanding that, you know, because of the resources that particular person, you know, the town would, the resource that the town would incur with respect to that person, you know, as a student with special needs, that there was a, you know, an understanding that that's why maybe the pilot was the way it was, perhaps.
It very well could, because sometimes they're not necessarily meant to cover all the taxes, it's more to cover the extra expense that particular
Yeah, and I think the
unit
relevant
place
statute is,
causes, where they don't have to pay taxes, they're still contributing to the town, so that the town
Yeah.
isn't taking the entire burden of the extra services.
correct. And the relevant statute, it's 72:23K, parentheses K. That's the statute that relates to basically nonprofits that are doing housing, and it talks about all that stuff there.
Even regardless of the pilot, I think it's a fantastic idea to look into a block grant to try to see if we can make more affordable housing.
Well, as you know, housing is one of the biggest issues in the nation, and certainly here in the valley, and Carroll County, the median age of Carroll County is 54.2. We are the oldest county in New Hampshire, and New Hampshire is the second oldest state in the nation. Only Maine is older, so right next door. So the need for this kind of service, I feel, is only going to increase. And also, I just would mention that we do, we do prioritize residents of Madison. That is a part of the pilot agreement too, when it's appropriate, all things being equal. So we do, you know, and that is something we're always careful about, and that's part of our communications to the town on an annual basis.
Any other questions?
Yeah, are we looking to mull this for a while, or?
Yeah, I don't wanna do anything about it.
Yeah, okay,
No,
that's what I wanna know.
No,
And,
Excuse me.
I think as a board, we'd like a minute to sit with it before we,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I have no expectation of, yeah, no, absolutely, you know, so, yeah.
I mean, I think majority of the board's probably behind the block grant, if that's
Okay, no
something.
question.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no question
Yeah.
about that.
But we can take a look at the numbers and mull over this contract for
Sure.
a little bit, and then
Yeah, there's
look
no
at it
rush.
again and,
Just, I think for me, for us, I think it was just wanna
Yep.
throw that out there now and get some sense of the town's feeling about it,
Yeah.
you know.
Sure,
do we wanna put this on the agenda again in 2 weeks? We've had time to look at it?
sure.
Yeah,
And- Yeah, and then, do you wanna set up a time to come back and, you know, if you have more of a specific plan for the block?
Well, I did talk to Molly Kaylor, she's the point of contact at CDFA about CDBG, so I could maybe I'll give her another call and, you know, we can really, you know, think about it more deeply,
Yeah.
you know. I know Donna Lane is her name, she lives in, I think she's in North Conway, but she's done a lot of these CDBG grants, and she's worked with the Gibson Center on previous CDBG grants and she's sort of an expert. We probably just wanna maybe get her involved too, or talk to her, see if she's available.
Thank you.
Okay.
Was that November 25th?
Yep.
All set?
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you very much.
have a good evening, thank
You
you
as
for your
well.
time.
Thank you.
Alright, preliminary budget reviews, DPW, fire, EMD, and the financial. First one in your packet is the DPW.
It's your lucky day, sir.
I mean, that majority of it is self-explanatory. We're looking at raises across the board to some degree,
In addition.
minus the director.
Salt went up pretty good, huh?
The increase-
Salt went
salt
up pretty
prices.
good. Yeah, crazy on that, yeah.
And then the vehicle repair line, but I think that makes sense to everybody, everything's more expensive.
Yep.
And part-time transfer station, another part-time transfer station.
That's what I came up with. I spoke with John
Yep.
when he wanted there, and a guy 20 hours a week on average for 52 weeks at $25 an hour is $26,000.
Yeah.
And that's putting back the person that we took away last year. We've come to realize that it was a horrible idea to take it away.
Well, he has, so.
Yeah.
So my understanding was like the structure didn't change, the budget didn't change, we just didn't have a person.
Sounds like you had a person, and then they took
We
it
removed,
away.
didn't we remove one?
And then they, well, now they want it back. John.
So we're bringing out the same person back?
No, no.
or-
No,
It's a position.
Just a
The
Position.
position never went away, we just
It
didn't
wasn't
fill it.
budgeted for.
Right.
I thought it was.
It was not.
No? Okay.
The position didn't go away, we just didn't budget for it, and John tried to work through a season without it and realized that it was not working as well as he had hoped.
And I shouldn't, well, quite honestly, it doesn't really need that many hours, but who are you gonna get somebody to work, you know,
1 day a week,
one day a week?
or a half
Or
of Saturday.
3 days,
Half a day.
3 hours a day or whatever.
Especially on a weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give up every weekend for,
Those are my dream jobs.
Well,
hopefully he's gonna get
Love
done.
there's
those.
gonna be an opening.
Resign.
You'll have to resign from the board to take it.
That's
but-
right. So, yeah,
And the change in salaries that can, you just, can I know how many people that affects?
It would be everybody.
I know, but I don't know if there's 5, 9, 11, 25.
There's, I gotta do the count, so.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't know.
Yeah,
Seven.
Yeah, I think there's
5,
well, then it's the part-timers too, so
Yeah.
7,
7.
and then your
And that,
DPW
it
is
also
8.
includes John,
Oh,
um,
8,
the transfer station guys,
8, 9,
so I think it'd be
10?
10,
10, okay, thank you, that helps.
10, yeah.
9 or 10. I don't wanna forget somebody.
Well, there are some folks who got significant raises last year, so we'll, you know, obviously look at the reviews and look at, the whole big picture, cause the economy sucks right now, it's awful, it's a nightmare, and we have to make sure that we're balancing the health insurance, that we're not, if we're going up, that, you know what I mean, like, we have to make sure that we are balancing so many of these moving parts of the folks, trying to make sure that the taxpayers can still pay their taxes, that, or we can still pay our employees, we can still give them the best health insurance that we can, but at a reasonable rate for the taxpayers. So, it's all so up in the air right now.
Any other questions on that?
I do.
Nothing jumps out at me. I mean, this is later on in our agenda anyway, we're looking at the employee review schedule, so we're probably gonna look for reviews for all those guys that,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah,
It's-
no, I understand that.
but-
I just wanted to put a number in there to
Yeah.
get a total picture of the
Yep.
budget, so.
so it's a 5.97% increase over last year. And I mean, I know a good chunk of that's the employee and the raises, but one of the big chunks is the salt, which we have no
Yeah,
control over.
Right.
Oh, man.
So,
can I talk on that for just a second on the salt? I sent you that memo in there, and I wanted to know what we were doing for salt. I don't know if you guys all saw that. As we compared to just the towns around us, and I called every DPW from the towns around us, and we're right in line with the same. Actually, we use less salt than Freedom, Tamworth, Conway, you know, everybody, so we're at that 550. I did budget low last year, that's why we went over. We still do have 30 tons left over from last year that we can use this year, but it did go up almost $6 a ton.
Does any of it degrade, just kind of following up on the CIP conversation for the salt shed? Does that degrade being exposed?
It gets a little crust over the top, and once that crust on the top, once it crusts over, which happens pretty quickly, once it gets a little bit wet, that's why I want to get it under cover better,
Right.
because when it gets wet, and we can still use it, because once you pick it up in the loader and turn it around, it'll crush out again and flake out, so it does, of course, salt, it gets wet, that's what causes it
Melts it.
to leach out, but you can still use 90% or more than 90% of it. You can use it again if you. I'd like to keep it empty, during the summer, but it's hard to plan on that.
right,
And that's why I really want to get it under cover.
alright. Anything else? Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory on the salt and the increases that we have, and vehicle repairs are insane.
Alright,
I wanted to thank the DPW for your time in the CIP meeting last week,
Oh, yeah.
and Dave sent over,
Yeah,
all
worked
the-
on that all day afterwards, actually.
Yeah.
And we, Dave was planning on being here tonight, but,
he fell asleep at his Excel spreadsheet.
yeah. We're meeting with Sharon Wednesday morning at the office to fine tune it a little bit, the document, I guess, you guys were gonna pick that up a little bit, and it's really hard, and what we're having trouble with on the CIP is planning out what interest rates are gonna be over the next
Right.
10 years, or,
Yeah, it's just ballpark.
yeah.
It really is.
And we actually found a website where it gives industry standards. And right now it's at between 5% and 7%, and we just, the grader we bought was what, $499, so. Something like that, $499.
I
Five.
don't remember, the cruiser was 6.49.
Oh, 6.49. So we use a 5% on the things.
Yeah. It just gives us, obviously, helps us figure out when to sock away what and how much,
Yeah.
so we don't get hit hard.
And we can work further hopefully on that CIP, and that'll be a discussion amongst the board and you folks. Like things we came up with, like, and I personally don't think the chipper even needs to be on the CIP,
right,
Well,
things
if
like
it's
that.
the way George Epstein provided some guidance was that if it's something that you have to track and replace over time,
Yeah.
it should be on there.
Yeah, and that's fine,
Especially if it's, cause I mean, if we can rent,
Yeah,
then yeah, it can come off, if it's not something that we own and need to track and replace. But if we're looking to buy,
there has to be a dollar figure attached to it though, otherwise it won't work. Because if you're talking about tracking everything that we might have to replace someday, you might as well add all the shovels and yard rakes and all that to the CIP.
Right.
And
I mean, we were
there has
kind
to be,
of,
there has to be a dollar figure. So if it's less
Right.
than $1,000, it shouldn't be on here.
we were kind of going with
Could've been
5-ish.
5,000.
I would
What-
do
yeah.
at least 5,000.
We went about 5.
Yeah.
And I would, for a CIP, and this is my opinion, again, you know, a muffler on a truck costs costs $7,000.
That's true, maybe up it.
Tires
Those need to
on
be
a
replaced every,
Loader, tires on a loader,
tires on a loader,
incredible.
you know, there's a lot of things, and that's where I think where things get murky, is we talking about a whole piece of equipment, or are we talking about,
Pieces.
Pieces of,
Right.
And that's where, you know, I think we talked about it a little bit the other day in terms of, okay, what's your maintenance budget? And what's a CIP item? We're paying for it somehow. It's just trying to figure out what's the best way to track it,
yeah,
budget or,
CIP?
yeah.
So,
And you know,
yeah,
maybe-
CIP is for a capital project,
Mhm.
and where maintenance would be on our maintenance, and that's why I'm getting at that's why the heavy highway equipment ETF is, you know, so important, I think,
Right.
for those unexpected, maintenance projects, you know, like, you don't know when you're gonna have to buy a tire for a loader necessarily, I mean, they wear out, but they also go flat, and they have to be replaced, you know,
Right.
unexpectedly or whatever.
And actually, I was going through and I was looking up the original warrant articles for all of the ETFs so that we have that together when we're, you know, looking at it all. And the discussion around when that, if I'm remembering correctly, when that highway heavy equipment ETF was created, was that it was not to be used to purchase new equipment.
It was for repair,
Repair, replace, and yeah,
or repair, replace, and something else,
Yeah.
refurbish maybe, or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
Sounded like a cool one.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Where
that
were
was
they,
it.
buddy?
But I think the wording was add to the fleet. So you just can't add to the fleet with it, so you could use it to purchase new, but that would be replacing something else.
Yeah, like,
Not to
and
expand.
what I'm using it for later on in the meeting, I think you guys are gonna look at that, like, you know, the plow frame on truck 10
Yep.
broke, that was $9,700, I couldn't possibly plan on that.
Right.
That's what I think the ETF was for. We needed new wings for truck 12 and truck 14. At the end of this winter, I looked to get them fixed and got quotes to resheathe them and redo it. It was $5,000 a piece when we could buy brand new ones for the same price, you know, it was, that's what I thought the ETF was for.
Yep. All right.
I think, you know, there have obviously been many iterations of the CIP. This is just a new version, you know,
Yeah.
just a new reincarnation. And, you know, we look back and we read the old minutes and how was it done before, what, you know, what worked, what didn't. So just try to make it work again. If something didn't work before, we don't do it that way. You know, is there, what is meaningful? Is it meaningful to put things in the budget? Is it meaningful to put it in the CIP? Is it better to do a one-off warrant article? Is it better to add to the ETF? I mean, you've been doing this for 15 plus years in Madison alone, right? 20? So, you know, you let us know what worked and what didn't too, you know? Because you have the perspective having sat at the table and having been a department head, so.
And I want to be clear about something, I'm happy to be part of the CIP, I really am, because I think it's a great tool, but I want everybody to understand that I have been doing it for 20 years, and it is a tool, and I think, Mark, I hope you agree with me on this, because he's been part of it, a lot of this too, is, the trouble is, you do all this planning, and I saw it over the last 20 years, and then you get to town meeting, and it's like, shut down. It actually, lots of times it didn't even get to town meeting, it got to the budget, as far as the budget committee, and you had these people that put all this time and effort into trying to figure out this plan, and the first thing that happened when we got to the budget committee was, we can't afford that this year. That goes, you know, we're trying to save up $20,000 or $25,000 for this piece of equipment we know we have to replace in 10 years, and like, we can't afford that, to save that $25,000. Those were the first things that were cut every single year. I can tell you that, and I didn't want to put a huge amount of time and effort, all the department heads and everybody into this stuff when it was, if it's gonna get cut, and I hope everybody's on board with this plan, but you can't, you never know what's gonna happen at town meetings, so.
But I hope that, like, you know, the cost analysis form that you guys have been doing justifies it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when you attach, here's what it looks like to rent, here's what it looks like to, buy, here's, like, when you attach that and you have that to it, you're bringing numbers to numbers, people.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, oh, okay, I have my numbers, you have your need that you've explained in numbers, we're on the same page.
Okay.
So that's hopefully what
I hope so,
will happen.
I really do.
Yeah, I don't see hardly anything ever been cut at town meeting. I was like, okay, let's spend,
Yeah.
so, that hasn't been my experience in 20 years.
But at budget committee,
Budget committee, yeah, but not even that much, I haven't been on it in 5 years or so, but, yeah. So, I feel like it's definitely worth a shot to start saving up for things and, again, there's gonna be a painful period where something may have to run a little longer than we wanted it to originally, but we can get to that place where we can pay cash and cut interest out of our lives.
Yep.
We'd save so much money. I forget what we said last time, $100,000 or so more a year, and we're paying in interest on all of our stuff, $80,000.
68, I think,
68,
is the number,
80,000, yeah, the 8 came to me after, but,
Yeah.
That was gonna be this year, last year it was like 42.
yeah,
and
which is half of a police cruiser, so just in interest.
and if I may, it's just, and I agree with you on that
Yeah.
point, 100%. The flip side argument is I don't really wanna be paying taxes for something that I'm not gonna use. And we have the older generation here, you just heard the guy, we're the oldest county. Why do I wanna pay for something, pay taxes, pay money to save up for something that I'm not gonna use? That's the argument that I hear. And whether it's legit or not, I think it's legit, but, that is an argument.
But even, I won't say the whole G word, but we know what I'm talking about. If we were able to better prepare for that, then we wouldn't, there's $100,000 in interest just on that. So, if somewhere in, just even the past few years, we were able to even save 20,000 and we would have been able to put that down, that just takes off a chunk of interest.
I
Well, I
agree,
think
I
you'll-
agree 100%.
I think you'll find that at some point, we did try to save for that and it got cut.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what happens, is
Right.
people don't wanna pay every year into something that they're not ever gonna see. So I don't know if it was 15 or 20 years ago, we started thinking about in 1987 grader or
Well, that
whatever.
ATF was created originally, first of all, it's in the 2000 or 1998 CIP or something like
Yeah.
that, so,
Yeah.
It gets hacked out because people don't wanna put the money away for it, and then we end up in the bind we're in.
And we limped it along to the point where we spent $50,000 on a new wiring harness to limp it along for it to break down again and not be usable. So there's that double-edged sword where it's painful to maybe we keep it for an extra couple of years, but doing that can also cost us
Costs money.
a ton of money that we can't recoup. Because you dump $50,000 into that grader to within 6 months have it break down again and be inoperable. Now you're up $50,000 and you're still having to buy a new grader. So, yeah, I again, I agree with we should be saving for it,
Yeah.
but it's convincing the townspeople
That's the
that
best way.
that's the best way to do it.
And when you have that documentation, right, when you can say, look, we did the homework, we did the rent versus, repair versus replace. We did it, here's the homework, here's the best way to go.
Or the middle of the road is not just going in to get the replacement with our trade-in that's busted up or no money down. Go in with a bigger chunk, that's kinda like the,
Well, sure, it's
that's the-
convincing
that's-
people to get that.
yeah,
that
that's,
money to
well, that's
give.
the, compromise, I guess,
Right.
instead of saying, oh, we're gonna save up for $100,000 piece of equipment, all 100,000, hey, we're gonna do smaller chunks and we'll at least have 40 or 50 to put down or something like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
But what happens a lot of time, like you were saying, where those pieces of equipment fall off because they get shot down, usually, cause I've been in all those meetings, we're told if we do this, now we have another 20 years, you know what I mean? And that hasn't been the case always.
And
You know, if you put this in it, we're gonna get all this more time, and,
I know.
you know, and
I
that
know for sure
obviously
that wasn't
doesn't
the top
pan out, but,
with the
you know.
wiring harness, but
right, no, but I mean, in
But
other
for
things,
sure,
hydraulics or whatever,
Right.
you know, it was, we'll get so much more time out of it.
And then another piece with the form too is that it's driving you to look at grants, right? It's driving us to look at grants, it's driving us to look at, you know,
Yeah.
can we like sell, you know, like what's the highest bid we can get for this, you know, like, it really makes us look at how to fund it rather than just put it on a warrant article. And again, you've been doing this way longer than I have, so I defer to your wisdom in a lot of areas, but that's the fresh blood thinking of just,
Yeah, no,
and I know you're very, you know, anti-government, you know, but
Thanks.
All right,
Roy.
we've all already paid our federal taxes
Yes.
into it, so now we may as well be getting back out of it.
Right.
All right, we got a bunch of
Yep.
these to get through.
Can I,
Yep.
one more thing, 'cause I
Yeah.
gotta go home and take care of my dog,
Do it.
and my chickens. Can we put something on the budget, on the,
Agenda?
on your agenda, sometime in the near future to go over, road work? And
Yep.
I'm trying to put together a plan for
Yep.
years to come, and I'd love to sit down with you. I sat down with Jake and Adam last week, sorry, and went over it, but to
I got
present it
questions
to
about it, for
put
sure.
out to the town.
Yep, do you wanna do that on the 25th?
Am I gonna be here on the 25th? Yes, okay.
She said you will be, so.
so you have to be now.
What's the boss say?
As far as I know.
All right,
Am I gonna be home on the 25th? Okay, thank you.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
Josh.
Thank you.
All right, next one up, elections, vital. Forgot the cheaters one. Anyway. Look, this is
Got
election
this
year,
one.
so we're looking at increases on the supervisor's line
Set up.
and the tally setup line and the salary checkers line, as well as postage. I
Three.
assume those are all tied to
Okay.
the election.
Yeah, we have 3 elections in '26. And basically, you hit the highlights. Maybe 2-3 years ago, the supervisor always paid straight across the board, no matter how many elections there were. And it really didn't make sense when you looked at the grand scheme of things, so we looked at how was a fair way to do it based on actual activity, so that in the years that there's 4 elections, they get paid more than. So we came up with a formula based on the number of quote-unquote checklist sessions, because it's not always an election, because they have to be at town meeting, which isn't an election, but it is an official checklist session, blah, blah, blah. So basically, we came up with a number for that, and because of the number of elections, it translates into those number of sessions, plus they changed the law with regard to supervisors and the work on the checklist, and required at least 1 official meeting every quarter, which seems really foolish in a year such as this, when we only have 1 local and school election, that's it, but they still have to meet every 3 months, when nobody outside of this building is thinking about any type of election.
Right.
But anyway, so that's, the increase there, kinda have a set amount that they're paid per session, and the more sessions, the bigger that line's gonna be. Same thing with the vote tally setup, with like 2 caveats. First, this is based on everything that's been presented to me. This will be our first go with the new machine this March. So they did say how much that would be, so that's what I'm using to budget for the next year. It should be close, I hope, but I have no experience with it, so I'll tell you better after March.
Yep.
And then also on top of that, another law change, the accessible voting system, that's what the ABS means, is for multiple variations of handicap, be it sight, there's audio, be it audio, there's visual, and a touchpad and all that stuff. It's basically technology-assisted voting for somebody who wants to vote by themselves but can't put pen to paper by themselves.
Yep.
So anyway, we have to use that because the state provides the machine. We have to use it for every election. Yeah, here it comes. The state pays for the setup on state elections, but not local elections,
So
so
mandate that we use it for the local.
mandate that we use it, and then we got a budget to program it, which we did last year because I felt that this law was in discussion, and I said, well, we might as well have it, because I'd hate to have somebody see it on the news and then come to vote and we not have it set up. So I had it set up and nobody used it, but it is what it is for $600.
Yep.
But, so that, the number of elections basically is what's driving the increase in this category of the budget. And there is next to nothing I can do about it.
Everybody good?
Yep. Good with that one.
Alright, emergency management.
Yeah, this one, you can see the two areas that were cut, that's me. The area that was increased isn't me. It has to do with maintenance we couldn't afford to do to the generators this year because of constraints in the budget.
Yep.
Added to next year, along with the ordinary maintenance that we plan for every year.
Yep.
So that's under that,
2,300.
maintenance line, the large increase there is because there was like a $2,300 and change
3-year.
service that needs to be done that we couldn't afford to do this year, so we just direct added to that, and that's on top of the annual. And that is all of the generators that we have.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Fine.
That's
So
all.
it's
Yep.
the one at the school that belongs to the town under, we got a grant through emergency management because of the use of the shelter at the gym, if we ever need to. There's that one, there's one at the lower garage, upper garage, this building, and the fire station.
Is that gonna give you enough to do them all?
Yep.
Okay. Cause you just added the 23 for the one big one?
No, that was a deferred maintenance on all of them.
All of them, okay. Alright. And then the 6,200 for just the normal maintenance?
Correct.
Okay, good. I'm good.
And I mean, you'll see that this fuel line only has $1 in it. Because generally speaking with our generators, unless we have a catastrophic incident, we use them much. They fire once a week automatically to make sure that
Maintenance,
they
right.
operate and stuff like that, so they don't burn that much fuel. If we did burn fuel during the year, it would also come out of this maintenance line.
Yep.
But the idea with keeping that fuel line is, if we had a catastrophic event,
We can
we'd
show.
pay for it out of that maintenance line, but book it to the fuel line so that we would know.
Where
Obviously,
for.
obviously, we're gonna know if we get into that bad an incident where we're really burning fuel with a
Right.
generator.
Right.
We're all gonna have a pretty bad day anyway, so.
I'd rather not.
Just
Well,
skip that.
Knock on wood, we've been fairly lucky since 1998.
Yeah.
Hold on for you. Alright, this is financial administration. Looks like
3.8?
3.81% increase, 3.5 on wage increase, 3.5 on computer support. And it shows 16.6 on memberships, but it's $100 change. And then postage.
And it's, to say it's a big one, I mean, you can see postage is gonna go over this year. Becky just mailed out December's renewal notices for motor vehicle. And it was I think postage stepped up twice this year, which kinda is what it is. But we've also, since COVID, had a lot of people move into town. And I can't give you the exact statistics, but we're mailing out more renewal notices in the last couple of years than we had in the previous years. 'Cause more people come into town, number one, and literally when people move to towns, they come with their whole fleet of vehicles. I had one person come in, register 6 vehicles at one, for, new registrations, so.
Yeah.
More people, more vehicles, more notices. Although, if you own 6 vehicles, you're gonna get one notice with all 6 vehicles on it, but it's
It weighs more.
additional, additional people to town.
Yep.
Translates into more pieces of mail.
Can people opt into electronic only?
We don't pay for that. That would cost more money on the computer support. We'd have to change the way that our interaction, our internal software with the Invoice Cloud would need to change, and it's like a module that you have to add and you have to pay for. But right now, we don't do that, so we don't have e-invoices necessarily, because you have to pay for that. But what does happen is if you ever utilize the Invoice Cloud to do a transaction online, I don't know whether you call it artificial intelligence or whatever, but that system knows that you used it before. If we upload an invoice attached to your name and you've used that system and put an email address in, Invoice Cloud is gonna send you an email, says it's from the town of Madison, but it isn't, it's from them, telling you that a new invoice just hit your account. So in a way, if people are using the electronic system, they are getting an electronic notification, but it's not saving you the postage on. And I can look into that to see what the cost of that module is in comparison with the postage cost, with the caveat that some things, the law hasn't caught up to the technology, some things have to go out paper mail.
But the other caveat that some people just won't buy into the electronic, they're gonna want it in the mail.
Right.
Like, your bank, you can opt in for paperless.
Right, but is the cost of that module versus how much we're still gonna pay in postage no matter what really worth it for us?
Worth looking into.
Yeah.
Your mileage, Mike, is you got $1. I assume you don't you have to go to training? Do you
Yeah.
have to go to training, don't you have to go to a yearly training, you and Becky?
Yes, we do, but,
Mandatory?
yep,
Do you take a town vehicle?
I do.
You do, what about Becky?
Becky, she generally goes to the Lakes Region 1, which is closer than her driving to here, so she never puts in for
Okay,
miles.
that's good, well, that's what I want, cause I know there's mandatory training you both have to do.
Right.
And if we don't provide a vehicle, then you should be
Right.
getting, okay,
But I do keep that there in the event, like I say, like the other fuel line and stuff. If something were to happen and, like, she couldn't go to that Lakes Region 1 or
Yep.
something else changed, and
that was my only question.
we can technically pay mileage because we have a line in the budget, it's only $1. but
Gotcha.
It's bottom line budget, as you all know.
Yep.
Yep.
It's exactly 1.56 miles for $1. It won't get you very far.
Alright, fire department,
Staying the same.
flatline. There was a shuffle of $1,000, but bottom line is no increase.
That was intentional, I tried my best to, where I have some control, the $1,000 increase on mutual aid dues is nothing, it's it's set by the mutual aid, looking at everything across the board. For all of you that don't know, the majority of that, the Ospey Valley Mutual Aid Association, it's terrible to look at this, that it's gone up $1,000 a year for the last 3 years, but the fact is that it has. But everything that we're doing has more expense tied to it. We're basically paying for equipment, site leases, electricity and communication is where the majority of this money goes. the Mutual Aid Association funded 2 consoles in the dispatch center. Because all of the towns are dispatched through the sheriff's office, so it's kind of a, we don't pay those people's salaries, but we offset it by, we funded to purchase the equipment that those salaried people work at. And of course, that stuff needs to be maintained, upgraded when necessary. It's all important stuff, which they found out last week when it went kaput.
I got just one question. Police department's gonna have to redo their whole upgrade, you've heard that, because the sheriff's office is changing to a whole different. Does that affect your radios too? Cause you guys are operating on the same radios. Is it gonna affect your, do you have a computer in your car?
Nope,
You don't dispatch through that or anything like that?
no,
So
no.
you just radio?
Yeah,
Okay.
just Airways radio. And
So it will, you don't have to go into that whole upgrade?
well, yes and no. What I'm aware of, they launched a new platform
Correct.
for
I am.
online reporting, which I am using because it's free. But there's also, they're changing the interface between the state and the feds with respect to NIFRS, the National Fire Incident Reporting System. So that's a piece that I do have to deal with, but it's not a financial impact on us, it's more of I buy my own Advil just for the headaches, but,
Okay. So you're not getting wrapped up in that?
no, there's no,
Okay.
we don't have any, anything other than radio communication
Okay.
in our vehicles, and if something did have to happen, and I know a little bit what you're talking about. I don't know the technical aspects of what the PD is dealing with,
Right.
but I do know we don't have any tablets, nothing like that we have to worry about.
Okay.
We have we just have radio communication with the dispatchers.
To make up that 1,000 for the mutual aid, it looks like you robbed it from the fire warden.
Yep.
We
And
appreciate
good Lord
that.
willing, if we didn't blow that budget this summer, we never will.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
And we, frankly, I mean,
This was the year to do
We
it.
made it.
Yeah.
it was incredible, and we did have the one rogue lightning strike in the middle of nowhere. Unfortunately, as nasty as the terrain was, it couldn't have happened in a better place because the nastiness of the terrain prevented the spread.
Yeah,
So, as dry as it was.
that was on the east side of town.
Yeah, it was on top of basically the ridge line that makes up Bald Ledge, basically coming across to King Pine. It was kind of on the northern end of that. But like I say, I'm very conscientious when it comes to the budgeting. When there's items I can control, I try to do so. And the increase in the mutual aid dues is, as unfortunate as it is, $1,000 a year for the last 3 years is what it's been, but we have seen improvements, but the improvements they made technologically with the simulcast, using the microwaves and all that stuff, it's great, it works, knock on wood, pretty flawlessly. We still do have some dead spots that they're trying to figure out patches to try and but when you have a dead spot with radios, it's a reason, it's terrain. And sometimes you can't get them all. But our coverage is really, really good, and that technology costs more.
On the CIP, thank you very much. You provided a lot of helpful, detailed information, so appreciate that. Looks like you looking into some upgrades to the firehouse, and things like that in the future. And then looking at taking possibly EMS in-house
No,
or supplementing.
that's a better word to use.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, before I took this position, we had an ambulance for years. And we had a transport license, we had the capability. We gave up that capability, and at the time, I thought it was a mistake to do so, but I'm concerned going forward, I'm willing to give up a fire truck to get that capability back, and I'm looking all across the board, found some beautiful deals today, I don't know if they'll be around come town meeting. A 10-year-old truck for $130,000 that has to be sold to a municipality, and it's in good shape, 10 years old, about 38,000 miles on it. It would be a good deal for us if we could do it, and I'm gonna pursue it, but chances are a deal that good's
Not gonna hang around.
not gonna last 5 months,
Right.
but anyway, I wanna restore that capability because facts are facts. In January 1st, 2027, Action Ambulance will no longer have a contract with the town of Conway. North Conway has purchased 2 ambulances, they have the first one, the second one's coming in March. That gives them 2, Conway Village has 2, East Conway, they don't factor into the ambulance business, but they have 1, so they have 5 ambulances in the town of Conway. And they are gonna do municipal ambulance, take care of themselves, between North Conway, Conway, work it out, they're gonna do it. What is the impact on us? We won't know until then. Will potentially Action Ambulance walk away from our contract because it's not making financial sense for them anymore? I just wanna be ready for that. It's not gonna take me by surprise, and I'm trying to prepare for that. And it may not happen, but I'd still rather have the capability in town, because as much as I support the contract that we have, it's not great in times of bad weather. Yesterday, it's not a good example, but it could have been. You take bad weather that hits us, it's not gonna just hit 1 out of the 6 towns, chances are it's gonna hit all 6 of us.
Right.
So all your car accidents are gonna happen then. And we're trying to cover 6 towns with 3 staffed ambulances. And it's easily to get 3 staffed ambulances overwhelmed. Mix in a transporter too, that ties up that rig for an hour plus, that they're not in the rotation. If I could just get this capability back within the town, we would be able to supplement both for the town of Madison and for our mutual aid towns that,
Do you have personnel though?
what's that?
Do you have personnel?
Well, I have EMS personnel that could
Okay.
man an ambulance, yes. Do I have enough? No. Anybody interested? Happy to provide you with an application or anything that could really.
Now, with that, if we had our own ambulance and we had to transport, I know that in other towns they have a stipulation where if they have to transport, they get credited from the contract. Would that, we would be?
We would pursue the same thing.
Okay.
And, but I'm not going at it from a position of nastiness.
No, but it's just an added
Exactly.
benefit, I suppose.
Exactly.
To right.
And some of the, and if and when we get to that situation, we could work out some details, because another thing that bothers me lately, we're talking about budget, that's why we're here. There are people that are refusing care that they need because they know how expensive it is.
Mhm.
Yep.
I mean, people where, and I'm not getting any money. I show up, I'm there to help you. If I tell you you need to go to the hospital, trust me,
Right.
I'm looking to get you to a level of care, at least to a medical doctor, to address whatever you got going on. And for you to say no, and the reason you're saying no is none other than you know
It's
that
expensive,
that
right?
ambulance trip comes with a bill,
Mhm.
Yep.
which is not the fault of anybody, it costs money. The contract that we have, as expensive as it is, or it looks, it just guarantees a response. And if they do respond, and they will, if they need to go to work and they need to transport you somewhere, they need to get paid for that.
Right.
And some things are gonna change this calendar year with the insurance regulations within the state of New Hampshire, requiring them to pay more
Mhm.
than what they have been in the past, so hopefully the ambulance company will make out a little bit better from the insurance company, and those supplemental bills going to the patient would be lower.
Mhm.
But that being said, for the camera, they're always willing to, if you can't afford come talk to the selectmen will open a line of communication with Action Ambulance, and we can work through just about anything.
Right.
But my point is that it pains me to realize that people are not going
Where they need to go.
where they need to go because they know it costs money.
Yeah.
Not only to get there, but also when they get there.
I've had more people approach me, who received a $4,000 bill, and then the next time they needed a ride, like, nope, I will either suck it up or just not go to the hospital and risk it. So I'm hearing the exact same thing. And that's obviously not how we want our townsfolk to feel.
Well, no, but there's very little I can do to make them feel any different, cause I don't like it any more than they do.
Right.
But, like I say, if we had the capability, it would give me another arrow in my quiver to say, listen, you don't wanna go with them, I'll clear them. If you wanna ride with us, maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
The hard part is once you go on a transport like that, you're tied up for an hour, just raw numbers, so. With the personnel that I do have,
Mhm.
especially during the day,
Tight.
it cuts us from one to none.
Yeah.
Cause everybody,
It's volunteer.
we're right, and the ones that I do have, every single one of them works outside of town. Well,
Mhm.
there's only a few employers in town, and they don't employ that many people
Right.
anymore.
Right.
So the lion's share of people that live in Madison work elsewhere. I mean, hell, most of the employers we have across the street, all the employees I think come from Maine. I follow them into work every day on the East Madison Road.
Are our members, employees are paid 1099 as kind of independent contractors, or how does that work?
Or the volunteer?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 1099 for their points that they have.
Reimbursement.
Yeah, their reimbursement points.
Did you provide, I can't remember if you provided us last year with a description of the point system?
I did.
You did? I thought you did too, okay, yep.
And I'll do it again this year, the end of this month.
Right,
Good.
thank you, Michael. All right, master plan NCC contract, Mark Olson and Tia Gagnon. Well, I know why you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for fitting us in tonight. Will we just go over
Yeah,
the
just quickly go over
whole proposal? Okay, so we have a pretty large steering committee for the completion of our master plan, which is great, and thank you for lending us Jim.
I missed the last one.
That's all right, busy. And that's the one where we finally made a
Yep.
decision,
Of
so
course.
be proud of us. But basically, we've been working for the past half year, well, almost a year, between the planning board and the steering committee, but basically, we decided in summer that we wanted to pursue, looking more deeply into working with a consultant, to help us complete all the sections of the master plan and get feedback from our community members and kind of have that third party, neutral consultant with all their experience, help us put this together. So, we landed on North Country Council. Michelle Morin Gray and Liz Emerson came over the notch and gave us a presentation, and that was to the steering committee and the planning board. And we took that first draft and then as a steering committee, kind of whittled it back a little bit, and cut down on some of the costs and some of the services so that we could, what we felt like, get the most use out of it for the least amount of money. So we're still gonna be working pretty hard, so I still need Jim, and everybody else on the committee, but, they would take the lead on it, and we would end up with a full, written out master plan at the end of it, digitized, and, that includes an implementation plan and kind of how we can weave that into the CIP, and that's one of our major goals. the first, so I talked with Michelle, once we sent back our first, revision. She gave us a secondary draft, and, she phased it out for us too, so that we can complete the first 2 sections of the master plan. And there are 8. So the first ones are vision and land, and those are the ones that we have to complete to kind of have our legal status. Those are necessary ones. That would be within our budget that we were allotted from the taxpayers, this past year. So we're asking for that, and then we could elect to, complete it with phase 2 at town meeting, with a warrant article to do that.
Yeah,
You have anything?
We're not locked in like that when we're this contracts.
just, you know, in sort of big raw numbers, we're gonna need another 12?
14?
14.
Yeah,
A
so
little over 14?
yeah, we had her, phase it out so
Yeah,
that,
it's,
So you need another 11.
yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
12 because
Yeah, because of the
we have
25 we
25
have now, yeah. So-
yeah,
So you'll end up with updated, a really well-updated master plan that's all digital, that'll have links to maps and all sorts of other bells and whistles,
About 37, right?
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
just about. And so the first phase is $22,495, and that's also phased out within that, like a payment schedule. And that's on the first page of the sales agreement, or services agreement. And what we're hoping to do is create a warrant article and finish it with NCC. And after listening to you guys talk about the budgets and the constraints, I know that it's difficult, but it's also something that we would like to do. So that's why we're here to kind of push for it, ask for it, and see what we can come up with. We're also exploring some grants. We were looking at HOP grants before, but they ran out. Like a lot of the funding is kind of drying up right now. But we did find one that's roughly $5,000. So one of our committee members, Evelyn, is looking into that more deeply to see if maybe that's something we could apply for the next phase, since housing is a piece of it, one of the sections. Yeah.
So there's 8 total phases?
There are 8 sections.
Oh,
There's 2
Two
phases.
2 phases, alright, just, okay,
8
that's,
sections?
But yeah, but those other sections, I mean, yeah, we have transportation, housing, the first 2, vision and land use. We take into consideration conservation, I guess that's part of land use too, but, we look at the DPW, we look at emergency services, really everything within the town.
These contract prices are based on us being a member of NCC, so that portion of the fee is in the planning board's budget. Correct? Or how much, that was around 4,500?
Yeah, a little less than that, it was,
4285, is that the
Yes.
number?
It's all fine and good, one way or the other, they're getting that.
Right.
yeah, I know they
Right.
kind of give it to us
Either we're gonna be a
for-
member or we're gonna pay it, one way or
Exactly.
another,
Yeah.
they're getting it.
Yeah,
They're
Is that
just
a
trying-
one-time fee?
it's an annual
Annual.
membership fee. So I sent a link on,
And we
what
are
NCC
at the very bottom of their scope of things too, right? We're the lowest they go.
yeah,
I
us
believe
and
us.
Albany,
Yeah, so we are the lowest town in that. So-
yeah.
So,
So you've already got the 25,000 in the ETF that was created last year.
Yep.
And you'd be looking for another 14, 12, 14-ish for 2026, and that would,
Yes.
that would get us the master plan
Yes.
for less than half of what people were anticipating of $100,000 last year, I think, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, and we're still doing quite a bit of work, and you can see in the contract, it's split in half on, oh wait, did I? Yeah, it's in the contract, but you can see what the responsibilities are. So we're taking on quite a bit of it, and we've already done a lot of outreach. We'd be using our own survey that we created, but they're going to analyze it, they're going to update our data, we'll help with maps, but we feel like we can get that done. And then they create a few different versions of each section and then compile the entire thing to complete it for us. And they're helping us with the implementation plan, so that's pretty huge for us.
Yep.
Because I think last year, the talk for the ETF was $100,000, I think, originally. And now, what's that?
You could easily spend
Yeah.
that.
So
And then some.
This is a pared down.
Mhm.
this gets it done for
As much as-
36,000.
Personally, I'm opposed to it. It's one of those, no, and it's not, it's because of a lot of the reasons that Josh brought up earlier, and Mark, you know this to be
Oh, yeah,
true.
yeah.
You spend time and money on a plan that nobody ever, 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 ever looks at.
Follows.
When was the last time, we did this, what, in?
2002 was the last
2002.
time it was actually,
And
But
then,
by law, we have to have.
right, and
Every 10.
Is
so
it-
it's a
Yeah,
necessary evil.
is it,
And
Little
Yeah.
one way or
passive-
the other, and it's a lot easier, we're gonna come up with a better product. As much as I hate to say it, spending this kind of money, than we would if we did it ourselves, which is, the fact is, and no offense to Tia or anybody else that's involved, I'm on the committee too.
It's fine, you're in it with us.
We couldn't generate the product that we're gonna get.
for the money?
So my question is,
Or period.
maybe it's in here and I missed it, but this master plan has to be adopted by the planning board, because it's a planning board function, so whatever final draft they give us, how much are we allotted to go back at them and say, I don't like this, how,
Oh, we're gonna work with them along the way.
It's all digital,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah.
okay.
And the fact of the matter is, once they once they set it all up for us, we can pay them and then change it all.
But
Yeah,
and
we
it's
can
a
revise it.
document you really wouldn't wait another 25 years to
Right.
update.
So,
on. It's
yes,
something
that's
you'd look
my
at.
thinking is,
every
once
year.
it's digitalized,
We can look
you
at
could,
it a lot
every
more
year,
often.
you could go into
Yep.
it and say, hey,
Change the
change this and this.
demographics,
Right, and
It
it's
won't
also
be
gonna come with,
goals.
and everything's getting easier to do because
Yes.
the technology is making information more readily available.
It'll be 20 years out of date.
I mean, my kids don't even know what an encyclopedia is.
Yeah.
They've never opened one.
I didn't.
That's how I used to do reports, man.
Encyclopedia?
I know, it's like Peter
I still
Canada.
have.
Mark, I know you got 3 sets in your house.
Give them a dial phone.
And in another 25 years, you won't have to worry about me being here.
Adam, you can see throughout it, it says complete up to one round of revisions, so there is throughout it.
Yeah, they were pretty good when they came. They were very good.
I think,
They're good, she's done 3 revisions on just the
This-
proposal, I know they're working for it, but, yes, they're very responsive, and that's been the experience so far.
But it-
I think this hybrid approach is fantastic. I mean, the town taking on so much and saving $66,000. That's,
Yep,
so
Basically,
thank you to everybody who's working on that to save the town that much money.
I think additionally, and just from the peanut gallery that is me, we need to look at our internal board policies and procedures, because, like, to me, step 1 in a plan review or, I don't know, something before the ZBA should be to look at this,
Right.
to see what the impact of this proposal may or may not be. Because much like the CIP is supposed to be used as a tool, so is the master plan, and it's okay when somebody's in front of the planning board to straight say no, because the master plan
Says no.
Says
says,
no.
Says
it
no.
doesn't go with what we want in the town of Madison. I mean, I just think we need to clean up and force it to be used if there is, you know what I mean?
Yep.
No, you're right.
In the kickoff meeting, that would be, when I talked to Michelle, it would be probably after the holidays, just so that we can get everybody on the same page and be able to get all the information that they need to host that. And the selectmen would be invited,
I would hope so.
budget, yes.
But I thought we
Budget
agreed to
committee.
start at the 35-yard line and skip the kickoff.
We were going to, but we're not, we can't, they had to go. But it will,
Yeah, I was
it'll
gonna
be
say, I thought
virtual,
they were making you do that, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was something they wouldn't budge on last I knew.
I was joking.
So,
It's
Hard to
a-
tell with that face,
I
Mike.
did
We
think,
tried, we
I did
tried.
think we agreed to that though.
We did, we tried to,
but they wouldn't, no, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Now,
Okay.
just to be that guy, what happens if the town doesn't approve the next step?
then we have to do a lot of writing.
We get a lot more work.
Okay,
Or
so that we would have to finish it ourselves.
Right.
that,
Or grant
or
funded.
we.
And not that I think
say-
that's gonna happen, it's,
And we like split it like 6,000, or if they flat out say no, I guess we'd have to wait a year. And, this,
The point is,
First
if
phase
we're,
is
if
gonna
we're
take
gonna
a
go
long
down
time
this
anyway.
road, and if we're gonna pay
$22,000.
$19,000 this year to get started.
I
not
don't
that-
think that it's gonna happen.
We
I was
can't
just-
find the future town meeting, but we can certainly advocate that once you've invested $19,000, it makes sense
To
to
invest
raise the
another
additional.
$11,000.
Let us get it
Yeah.
finished, because to
We
get
need
only-
it anyways.
To get part way, statutorily, we need it,
Mm.
still absolutely unclear what the penalty is if you don't. Because we've made it this far, 23 years. So how many 5-year updates is that we didn't do?
Yeah.
We did a couple.
so it's gonna be so good, we'll make up for that.
Yeah, no, again, not
No,
that I
it's gonna be so
think
good
that's
now
an
that we
issue.
can wait 25 years and it'll be perfect.
No, in the
Right.
implementation plan, it's already scheduled for the next one to start at 8 years, so that we're ready for 10 years, hopefully.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll never have to go this deep again. Once we get the product, the stuff you need to update, you can update yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a really good question.
There is somebody that says we spend more on fireworks than we do on planning.
That's
Fireworks,
that's
that's great.
100% true.
But fireworks are so much more fun than planning.
Instant gratification, Mark.
They take
NCC,
a
That's
lot
what
less.
we're about.
NCC also helps with grant writing. They do some like safety measures. They just did one, like traffic slowing measure up in Jackson. I don't know if you guys saw that in the paper, but that was NCC. They also advocate for towns on like the Gasset and, complete streets and stuff at the state level that maybe the rest of the town would be interested in, not just master plan stuff.
Sounds good to me.
Well, barring any other questions, do I have a motion to sign this professional services
I
agreement?
will make that motion.
I will second it.
Motion by Jen, second by Joy, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Do we sign this and go into agreement, or do we need them to help?
Adam would probably have to sign it, right?
My name on it?
Both plans, which one?
Just, rewrite it.
You have a clean,
She has a
Lynn's gonna
clean
copy.
there.
They have our address wrong, I just jotted in the one for 1923 building, or, it was in 923.
I think Adam's gonna sign it.
I'll sign it and
He'll
I'll
sign
But
signature
actually
it.
though, you know what, I could probably just reprint the first page. Just
Okay.
copy that on.
Good.
Yep, Linda will stick it in our signature items and I'll have it signed at the end of the meeting.
I have it, it's on my desk.
Oh, yeah, it is. Great. Okay.
All right.
So it'll be signed at the end? It'll be signed at the end of the meeting,
Okay,
so you can get it tomorrow?
sure.
If you-
Uh,
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wednesday.
tomorrow is a holiday.
Oh, that's right, yep.
Okay,
So
great.
you can go have supper.
All right, I know.
Now, Mark left early from the Wednesday meeting, he needs to sit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, employee review schedule. We said we wanted all the reviews done at the end of this year, and I think Linda, you was looking for guidance as to who would what and when and.
Yeah, because I'm assuming you're gonna have to plan non-publics, do you wanna do
a marathon of everybody in one day? Do you want me to set up people, you know, I mean, cause after, my thought is, you know, who knows what time the meetings get over, so you could have a department head sit here for 3 hours, they could sit here for 15 minutes waiting for their review at the end of it, if you wanna do them ahead of time, or, let me know.
So
Cause we're doing the.
I blocked that
department
off to you like a half hour before the meeting
Oh,
started.
okay.
Very rudimentary org chart, because basically the BOS will only do the department heads
Yeah.
for, 5, 6 departments. So we only do like that, and Mike effectively, as town clerk tax collector, doesn't get a review.
Nope.
We don't
He
get
does.
reviews
You're
because
voting.
we're hired by the taxpayers,
Right.
Correct.
so they're our reviewers.
So is he. When he gets elected, that's his review.
Yeah,
You did all right.
That's why he-
Get reelected, all
Yeah.
right.
That's fire chief, different,
Yep.
but, obviously elected officials we report to. So very,
So we won't need non-publics for employees, just for
Department
department
heads.
heads. So,
And do you want the department heads to go over their employees with you at that time?
I'm good if they fill out the review paperwork for all their employees for us to take a look at. I don't think they
Look
need
at
to
it, but I
meet with
don't
us unless there's a
I
question.
think we have to question them on their own employee,
Yeah,
to me personally,
Unless we
but-
don't understand something that they
Yeah.
put,
So
If they
we
fall
would-
apart easily, it's all over.
that was hilarious. I was like, I don't know where we got that language from.
So we would be looking for.
it's missing rec.
And we really, well, we, meaning you, as far as I know, you don't do anything with the library.
Right, cause you can see,
personnel,
cause it
so-
says like library reports up to the trustees who are elected,
Mhm.
so, yeah.
So we would be looking for your review on Kate, Josh's review on all of his guys, and I would just include the transfer station and ask John to work with him on the part-timers over there.
Can I just take a peek at
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Thanks. I'll send it back to
Heather doesn't have any employees under her to review, really. We have all of our part-timers for summer camp, but those are a rotation, who knows if any of them are coming
Yeah,
back.
their season.
Police chief's gonna handle his officers.
Was police on, was Jim on that list?
Jim was on.
Yeah.
So, and Michael obviously handled Becky's review. So we're just looking at you, Josh, Heather, Jim,
Well,
and Bob.
And,
So Bob is his own
Linda, Bob,
unit.
Josh,
He's all by himself.
Chief,
I can
Chief,
smoke it away from me.
and Heather. Does that sound about right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so we would need to do 5. The real question is, do we wanna sit down as a board and fill out these reviews? And do they need to be present when we do it?
Well, part of the review process is looking at their job description, talking to them.
Yeah.
Having a conversation about what part of your job is working, what isn't, what should come out of the job description, what should stay in, what should be added, and how does that affect,
Well, that being the
Going
case,
forward.
we need 5 non-publics.
6.
6.
6. I can't count, but either way,
As many as you tell us we need.
yeah.
Yeah.
and I would say before the meeting, so you don't have to make them wait.
So, I mean, my personal opinion would be to do either 2, 2, and 2, or 3 and 3.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And what do you wanna allot, like 15 minutes blocks or 20-minute blocks for each, so they know what time to come in,
yeah, I would,
so
15
that they're
minutes
not
apiece.
sitting in the
Not
hall
like
waiting for
it's-
everybody.
But if you're gonna do the review with them when they're sitting there, that's gonna take more than 15 minutes.
I was just throwing that
No,
out, I
I'm
was
just-
just
I'm
trying
just
to
thinking,
say a
it's-
block of time.
It's a decent amount of paperwork to go through, and you've got 5 pages.
But
So-
they're pretty easy to go through.
Right, but I mean, you figure 5, so even if it takes you 3 minutes a page, that's 15 minutes just to go through the paperwork with the person before you
Yeah.
have a discussion.
Right.
So you probably need 30 minutes a person anyways.
Half an hour person,
So can we do 2, 2, and 2?
yeah.
I think that's
Start
more
at-
reasonable.
start at
3:30.
3:15.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
So we'll do 2 of them on the 25th, starting at 3:15.
Yeah.
And then the following
So
meetings.
by the end of December, we'll have them all done.
I'm all done.
Do you want me to arrange them accordingly to who available when?
Yeah, I would
Yep.
say whoever's available.
And so before a meeting, we would each get a copy of the job description and then.
I
a
think
copy
They're all,
of-
they're all
They're all
already
in
here.
here? Yeah, I think they're.
All
everything-
in there.
You're
In
good,
this
everybody's job
Right here.
description,
Right
Awesome.
here.
Public Works, everybody's
personnel
there.
policy, and the evaluation. I
really-
can make you more copies of the evaluation.
See this part?
All
right
we
here?
really need is the department head, but that's
We got it down, so.
nothing but
Wasn't that-
No, that's mine.
above and beyond.
So it's here. It's in here.
Oh,
Perfect.
you feel
as
like
a
Tim
respectable-
are happier. You sure?
Can we just ask the department heads to have the reviews
Oh,
of
you
the
took it apart,
employees
okay.
by
Oh, I didn't see.
our last session, whatever that is, December 23rd?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep,
What was that?
Have the department heads have their reviews in by December 23rd?
Yes.
we can look at them all.
So you'll have a non-public after your meeting on December 23rd to review those? Because you're gonna have one non-public before to review the department heads.
What was that?
We can probably review actually, yeah, we just do January 7th. I don't think, are we pushing it to? I don't think so.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, because raises wouldn't take effect until after town meeting anyway, so.
Maybe retro back. Yeah.
Right.
So if
I,
we just,
I'm struggling with the retro, but that's a whole other conversation. But we'll just
we'll
put
have,
the logistics.
So-
Cleaner.
does January 7th make more sense to have all the reviews in from the department heads so that we're not doubling up on non-publics on the 23rd?
Yep,
Yes.
After you meet.
And we'll
with
do
them.
that one after, as opposed to before.
But still have everybody give them to me to get to you before the 23rd, so you'd have an opportunity to
Review
review them
them.
That
before
would
the
be
7th,
great.
so you could look at them cold that way.
Yep. So we're gonna ask the department heads to have all the reviews in by December 23rd, and then we'll have a non-public on January 7th after our meeting to discuss any of the reviews that we
Yep.
sent in.
Sure.
Does that work for you, Linda? Any
That's
other?
fine, I just, whichever, however.
Well, no, you wanted a way to hammer it out, so.
Right, I just wanted some direction.
All right. 2026 to 2030 assessing contract, which needs to be signed before December 31st. So it looks like there's a 65% increase in the annual assessing,
yeah.
which equates to the contract, if I'm not mistaken, is the same.
Essentially, I started to go through it and they were just tiny minor things, nothing that was really monetary, it was more like, I can't even think of something off the top of my head, but they were tiny little clarifications. But as always, excuse me, I'd asked Cordell to review it again, he did it, he reviewed the, our reval one, and I asked him, and actually I got a letter today from the Department of Revenue who said that this contract is acceptable to them, they don't have any problem with it.
Okay. So the monthly cost is $29.88 per year up to 2030, and then it goes to $17,043.
Where are you seeing that?
Last page.
So the yearly cost
Have to go
works
last
out
page.
to be $35,856 until that last year where we get to the $168,660, which we paid $110 this year, is that right?
109, yeah.
109.
What's our current cost? Aren't we like 10,000 or 11,000 a month or something?
We pay $17.44 for our regular monthly assessing stuff, and then this year in the contract, we paid, I believe it was $9,800 and change per month
Per month.
to make up for that $109,000 that we paid for that, so instead of $17.44 per month, we're gonna be paying $2,988 per month.
Okay, I see that. This one is gonna be.
It's that fifth year that goes up for the complete reval. That's why this year we're paying $10,000 a month, because we're in a reval year, which in 2030 will be 17 as opposed to 10.
So what was our current 5-year contract that's just ending,
Monthly?
total?
Oh, right
Okay.
on the front page.
210,
210, 390,
936,
210, 936.
and went up to 347, 940.
Stretched out over 5 years.
64%.
How- So how did they describe such a significant jump?
Expanded services, market conditions, and
Yeah.
operational costs, it's all right there.
Right, but
I,
nothing more specific?
no, I talked with Chad on Thursday. Just, I mean, he really didn't have any concrete explanation to say, you know, other than, I mean, just me knowing the assessing market, there aren't that many out there.
Mhm.
You know, we just lost that one that did Conway, they're gone. And then if you Google it, I think only 3 names came up for New Hampshire assessors.
Is it common to put it out for bid or ever?
Yeah, well, I know we didn't last year, we did in 2015, we went out to bid on this.
Mm-hmm. And what, do you remember how many we might have gotten?
I wanna say it was 2, I think it was Avatar and the one that we had,
Okay.
so.
Let's, for peace of mind and for, especially for our taxpayers in this budget season, can we get some more pricing?
Yeah.
I agree.
We just, whenever we put it out to bid, then we need to realize that it needs to be done by December 31st with whichever direction we choose to go.
We have to put it out and get an answer back. But there's only 2 more.
Within the near future, because Thanksgiving and Christmas are gonna,
Yeah, that's,
Snow up sometime.
yeah. Said there's only 2 other companies that do it.
Well, not, that popped right up.
Popped right up, yeah.
One of them was their old
Pay for the
company.
higher algorithm.
Yeah. And there was another one that I saw, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like on the other side of the state. I know that the town of Colebrook, no assessing company would take them. They're actually having the states having to do their reval because they can't hire an assessor. Nobody will
Go out there.
We'll go there.
go there.
Do you mean Colebrook North or just Colebrook themselves?
Colebrook, the town, New Hampshire.
I know, but like, what about the people above them then?
Well, they may already be in a contract. I think they fell out of their contract.
Oh,
and they couldn't
okay.
get anyone to take them as a new contract.
Okay.
But, yeah, I did talk with them about things that, what can we, is there anything in there to work with? And basically, for a few years, we were doing 20% of the town every year. We've gone down, this will bring us down to 10% of the town every year. So they'll look at 315 properties a year. They feel like we're in a good spot where we did so much data verification over the last 10 years. Most properties are really in a good spot. New properties, they go out and look because there's building permit that got pulled. The other point that Chad made was even going out and checking these data verification things, you know, if they find a shed on this property and they found someone who took a shed down on this property, for the most part, when those data verification things happen, it's a pretty even, you know, you added a little, you took away a little kind of thing that goes on. What he says is more valuable than even that is the fact that there's equity, because you can say to anyone in this town, we look at every single piece of property in this town at least once every 10 years. So we're not picking on you because you took your shed down, and we're not picking on you because you put a shed up.
Right.
We're gonna find everything as we go along, so you're not picking on anybody, and that's
Right.
he says that goes a long way in arguing the whole fact of what you're taxing these people on, because we're feeling that it's very accurate. The other point he was making was our building permits. We have a lot of stuff that they go out, and when they print our data, our pickups, there's tons of them, you know, and they'll spend 3 weeks around town just looking at people who made some kind of improvement to their property. And
Do they do a lot by air, like drone?
Not that I'm aware of.
So so I'm just curious about the process, I'm not like.
Yeah, no, they
Not to say
physically,
I'm not a fan of the tax man, but,
they,
you know,
yeah.
but I have a 1/4 mile driveway, I have a no trespassing sign,
Well, then, if,
nobody's ever gonna see that property,
well, if that's the case, you're right.
just curious.
You're absolutely right. If there is a no trespassing, they note that on the card and they don't go to it.
Right,
If they did have a building permit though, that's the ticket to get onto the property, whether it says no trespassing or not, cause you sign off on that when you get a building permit
right,
that they're allowed
but
to
if
go.
they didn't get a building permit, that's why I was wondering if
Right,
there was an aerial,
Yeah.
and who's
not-
gonna ever know?
Right, not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
I
that
don't
was
think
my,
they do.
that was my gnawing at me since I was 18 question.
Sure, well, and I know it too, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, well,
Yeah.
we're on the same road, people drive by our house 100 times a day, so you know when someone,
Right.
painted a board on the front of their house,
Yeah.
But there are people, yeah, you just don't know.
No.
Whether they pulled the permit for it, or whether they didn't, or just maybe didn't think they had to and they didn't,
Right,
So that's a lot of expense.
so that's why I was wondering if they had to look at every property using a drone is gonna cost a lot less than driving and then driving, you know what I mean? So I was wondering if they did that,
Yeah,
that was
not that I'm
that was the
aware of.
point,
Yeah,
to bring the cost down if there was new technology used.
but at the same time, if there was a no trespassing, I would think that hovering over somebody's house would still be trespassing.
Yeah, I don't know what the law, I don't know what the laws are
Yeah, I know,
about drone.
right.
I have a no trespass and I was standing in the driveway talking to my neighbor and the drone was right over my head,
Mhm.
so. I didn't really care,
You get
'cause
trouble,
I.
they shoot 'em down.
Yeah, you get in all kinds of trouble when you shoot it down.
So anyways,
Decker's got one now, crashed the shit out of it
I can look
yesterday.
into, see if anybody in the companies are interested in talking.
Giving us an
Yeah.
idea, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Has a hard pill to swallow, 64.9%.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And those numbers are 5 years, however the contract was 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But we started, just for clarification, I know 2 of you are new, I don't know how much of it you know, we started putting away money for the 5-year lump sum in year 1.
Right,
You
to
know,
try
the
to,
warrant article.
Yeah.
right, to try to,
Yeah, so now,
right.
If we wanted to do that,
if we're doing the same thing again, we're gonna put away more than the $25,000 if we wanna get to 168,000 by 2030.
right,
You're going to put $35,000 a year away to cover that
Cover that.
lump sum.
right.
You know,
on
the other
top
part of
the
it is
35,000 that
operating
we're
budget,
spending
but-
For the year, right, so you're talking $70,000 a year for assessing.
And like I said, they do offer a 1-year contract. So, we just came to it.
Okay.
I don't like that idea.
Because you know the next year's gonna be even more.
Yeah,
It's gonna be,
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
don't
worse,
know.
and then you put it out to bid after a year, and then you go with someone new, and every year you're possibly going with someone new, it's just, it's filthy, which is why I think we'll probably, put my foot in my mouth here, we'll probably end up coming back here, cause I think we're gonna find that a lot of them are in the same price range, and it just makes sense to stay with the person who already does it.
We have to look
But
though.
we still have to look at
Yeah.
the pricing, if somebody's $60,000 cheaper,
Sure.
then
Yeah.
we have to
Find out
think,
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
find out why
Exactly.
and think about biting on it. Alright,
Alright,
this is letter of intent related to GSCF grant, this is our fancy new truck.
Mhm.
And it's a letter of intent to purchase the vehicle so that they'll hold it and.
Build it.
or
They'll-
Or they'll need it.
Yeah, if we
that's the-
wait till town meeting approves the whole thing, there's a really good chance that it wouldn't be completed in our fleet by the end of 2026.
Right.
And that blows the grant. And I called and asked the lady at DES, how sticky is it about that? And she was kind of like, you just really want to get it done. She says, because if for some reason you don't get it done and you ask for, oh, can I have a little bit more time? They don't have to give you more time, and then you lose the money and it goes to somebody else. She recommended seeing if you can work with a company that would allow you to do a letter of intent, do it ahead of time. I ran this through Cordell. He said that you're totally have the ability to do all this. He did ask me to add that line that says subject to approval at town meeting, just to kind of cover you, but we are still kind of bound to it just the same.
I just feel like if, we don't wanna lose the money,
Yeah,
and I
no.
think that to vote it down in town meeting would be foolish, cause it's $255,000
You're getting a truck.
free money You spend $110,000 of town money to get a $360,000 truck.
Exactly.
Right, so here's something that came up in the CIP meeting the other day. Does this, to make sure that we are on completely solid ground, warrant a special meeting for an expenditure kind of outside of budget?
I asked Cordell that, because
We're not
you're not
expending
spending
it.
any money.
Right, okay.
Cause you can back out of this.
As long as they agree to it, it's an intent, and most of
And
them
if-
do
okay.
that.
Right, and if they agree to this, then it's subject to,
Approval
Town
at town meeting.
Okay,
but we also have with it, I'm gonna send them along the paper that says that we have the grant, so
okay.
it's a
You can
positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not even gonna say it, never mind,
Well, once
I'm
I-
not gonna say anything.
do we need a motion then?
Yeah, we need a motion to sign this letter of intent.
Motion.
Alright, so hold on. So I think it's, Josh was just explaining it at the CIP meeting, that there are 3 different vendors, but this was
This
the
is the
best
truck
truck
and
from the
chassis.
best, from the best vendor, like, this is,
Just the truck.
Right,
Oh, the chassis.
right, cabin chassis, right, yeah.
In terms of vendors, Mack trucks are pretty much,
yeah, I think he was describing that, like,
there isn't many places that you can
Do
order
yeah.
that.
So this is part of, most of the truck.
It's the
It's the-
cab and the chassis, there's
Right,
no
but
bed,
then
there's no,
Then you get
Out-
the
there's
dump
nothing
body
outfitted
and
on
all
it.
that.
Right, so
Yeah.
all those other things is basically, so we can get, all those other things will be basically a separate warrant article?
No.
No.
All one warrant article,
Separate vendor.
separate vendor,
So,
but,
so the $228,000 of that 255 is gonna go towards the cabin chassis.
mhm,
And then HP Fairfield is the one that more than likely will be the one that will put the dump on it
Mhm.
and the plow stuff on it.
okay,
That can wait until town meeting because we'll have the truck for them to be able to outfit it. The problem was if we waited to order it, we wouldn't be able to get it all done.
right, we
Yeah,
wouldn't get it
truck
till like
and order,
October,
but-
and then have it outfitted, it takes 3+ months to have it outfitted, so we wouldn't have it back in time for the end of the year.
and they're good with the timeline and everything, they can,
Actually, Michael called, I have the paper right here, who he spoke to, and they sent me the information that I needed to put on in a letter of intent, and they actually said, yeah, just have the town administrator sign it, and we'll take care of it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I ain't signing it.
yeah.
Does this mean we get a choice of all-wheel drive or 4x4?
That's,
It says
it's the
both.
same thing.
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm. So I'll redo my motion. Sign the letter.
Motion by Jim,
I'll second it.
second by Jake, all those in favor?
Aye.
That, you have to clean the signature items,
Yep.
Right. Request to trustees of the trust funds, this is where I get to,
Sign things.
wow, I get to make a motion for each individual one too. So the first request is $26,000 from the Historical Society Building Improvement ETF.
This was for the painting. that they
This
did
is
this
for the
summer.
painting. Alright, so I will make a motion to request the withdrawal by the trustee of the trust funds for $26,000 from the Historical Society Building Improvement Expendable Trust Fund to reimburse the general fund for the expenses incurred for the painting of the Historical Society building.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the second one is huge. I'll make a motion to request the withdrawal by the trustee of the trust funds for $250 from the Veterans Monument Fund to reimburse the general fund for the expenses related to the engraving of names on the Veterans Monument.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, who seconded?
Me.
Jeez.
I gave someone else time, no one wanted it.
And that's all finished too, it looks really nice.
That's all done, perfect. Should be,
Alright.
it's done by tomorrow, right?
And this last one is from the Highway Heavy Equipment ETF to reimburse for large expenses for
The wings,
wings and
Wow.
pieces
plow
of it.
frames. Unexpected large expenses, which is what we were just talking about that fund being for.
So this is, how many different parts?
It's 2 wings, the pieces that go with it, and the plow frame for truck 12. Question mark?
Is this all for one truck?
No.
Three separate trucks.
Three separate trucks. The
separate
two
trucks.
wings are on separate vehicles, and then the plow frame is on a different vehicle.
We bought new wings and plows.
We
for
bought
3
two
trucks.
new wings,
Two new wings.
and we bought one new plow frame that was broken. The plow frame, I believe it's truck 12, was
Yep.
broken when they took it off in the spring and didn't fix it till now in hopes that they would have money to do so.
That's that last page, 9,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna cost them 2,000 plus to fix it, so.
And I'm 99% sure that there was there was a purchase order on that $9,000 one.
Yes.
Yep.
There was. All right.
And
I will make a motion to request the withdrawal by the trustee of the trust funds for $16,297.43 from the Highway Heavy Equipment Expendable Trust Fund to reimburse the general fund for expenses incurred for HP Fairfield and Allied Equipment invoices.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm no, because I haven't wrapped my head around it.
Bring it down here. Of course I didn't. Well, being that all that is gonna reimburse the general fund, if I recall correctly, we're at 86% of the year and we've expended 82% of the budget. Is that mine?
No, but I'll let you mind. Bailey will.
Yeah, you're 81.9.
82% of the budget and we're at 86% of the year.
There you go, buddy.
So all that just makes it a little bit
A
better.
little bit better.
We're doing great, guys. Well, we're not doing anything, they're doing it, but.
Now we're staying inside the lines.
Yeah.
This last long list of things, I just need some direction as to what to pay from what. For PFAS stuff, if I pay it out of the grant, or if I pay it out of the expendable trust fund, or a lot, I mean, you can see the big chunks on there, things like
The
Wilcox and
Barton.
Barton, but there's other, and, what do you call it? What's that one? Oh, well, anyways, a lot of it's just water.
I have to go back and read the details of the grant to make sure that I'm spot on as to what goes where.
Can we make sure we have an answer to her before our next meeting so that these can get spent or rectified soon?
So as of right now, some of it has already come out, so you've got it noted in the memo when it's come out of the ETF.
But we haven't been reimbursed, we haven't asked for it from the
You haven't done one
trustees
yet this year?
Not for any of these, no.
Oh,
No, I just two meetings ago was the first time we did anything, asked for money from
okay.
them.
I must be thinking of last year then, okay. All right.
So if there's things that,
Well, the ETF is for all of this.
But there's things that need to come out of the grant.
or, I guess, I don't know. I
Right.
just
Yeah, and then,
don't know.
then financially, how do we? Yeah. I'll come visit you.
Okay.
We'll sit down.
And if we can make sure it's done by the 25th, we need to get all this tied up before the end of the year, and we're only gonna have so many more meetings to do it.
Because the main thing is, these aren't reflected in the budget right now, so if there's things that aren't gonna be paid out of the ETF or aren't gonna be paid out of the
You take
expendable
those
trust
out.
fund, they're gonna take the hit and back into the budget.
Okay.
We have, how much in the ETF?
I don't know.
And then we have 68-ish
Yeah,
in the grant.
yeah,
Shouldn't
there's
hit the
money
budget.
to cover
Shouldn't hit
it.
the budget, yeah.
cover it, I just don't know where
Where?
to take it.
Yeah.
You wanna make a plan on what day you're gonna come see Linda to rectify it?
Figures.
I'm off on Thursday.
And Friday. I can try to come Wednesday morning. Maybe? Does that work for you?
Is that Wednesday, the 19th? Is that right?
12.
Oh, this Wednesday, even better. Now the good stuff. Tax rate setting,
Do you want me to put the computer on?
if you can.
Do you have a magnifier for that screen?
Yeah.
Adam's concerned his eyesight's not good enough to see that.
Sorry.
Hold on, if it's on the
Six minutes, something like that, just got tonight.
Oh, sweet.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You did
I have one of those.
Okay.
Thank you.
that? Yeah.
I gotta find where I put mine. Oh, I saw you flinch. I didn't know what
That was
happened.
a puke.
Love that. That's my favorite thing ever.
Sitting here trying to hold it together. I'm
Dying here.
What?
like, Jake was, I don't know if you saw the flinch.
No.
I twisted and sat on my own nut.
Oh. Dude, you're too young.
It's worse than the same thing.
Wasn't fun.
Oh, you didn't take your hat off, so you couldn't have been that hot. First thing I gotta do is vent.
What are we doing?
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, boy.
That's no fun. It's no fun. Oh, I agree. To something. Can't read.
This looks like me trying to run my kids' TV.
Looks like me trying to run my own TV.
Oh, I just have to read it.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
Thank God they're here.
They're not here just to take video. Tech support. All built into one.
Can you guys see that all right?
I can.
Do you want me to turn it?
I'm up and moving.
Thanks, Evan.
Oh, look at that.
Mm.
Oh, there we go, thank you.
Oh, wait, maybe I don't have to move. Oh, brother.
Where are you?
It's a great movie.
It
Great
is.
music.
Yes.
I know, right, let me hear here.
I can't figure out which part of my trifocus to
Oh,
put
that's so
to.
much better right over here.
Take them off.
That's even worse.
Can you read that? Do you want me to read it to you?
Is it 'cause it's far?
You can increase the font.
That's what I'm wondering.
If you,
It'd be Alt plus.
You got a Reader's Digest version of that?
This new camera guy.
I love it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Nothing.
I was looking to see. Usually there's a little magnifying glass somewhere on the phone.
That's all right. We'll get there, Linda.
is that Chrome?
If I stare at it long enough, I'll figure it out.
Just walk over, just sit there.
What's the number?
So, do you want me to talk?
Yeah. Yeah, that Linda.
So, well, right now the rate is set at 9.23, and if we don't buy anything back, and we have what,
1.333858.
thank you, Jake, in the unreserved fund balance, and generally speaking, they want us to keep 5%, which is 560,000.
Just call it 600. Easy.
I can, so if I take this and we use.
$633.
Calculate, that brings us to, where is it?
For down bottom.
5.23% right here, if we use $700,000 worth of fund balance, and you'd still have $633,000 left in it.
Okay, and what does that put the tax rate at?
864 up here. We go down a little bit, you can see what the town impact is. The town would be $2.05,
So it's a,
and we started at 264.
So
it's
it's
a
Yep.
59 cent.
So we drop it 59 cents.
Decrease.
Yeah.
So, Jake and I had a discussion, I mean, Jake's idea was potentially to, rather than buy it all back, use
360,000 to buy the truck with a you know, whatever, use the money so that we don't have to raise and appropriate it, because we have to buy the truck outright, so we have to raise and appropriate $366,000 or whatever the final number is. So if we were to use the money from the unreserved fund balance to buy the truck, $255,000 is put back into the account when we get reimbursed for it
Grant.
through the grant, thus not costing the town any money. There's no, at that point, there would be no interest, there would be
No
no
appropriation.
appropriation for it at all as far as raising taxes. And so that way, realistically, you're taking and using $110,000 out of the unreserved fund balance to buy the new truck, saving that as a line item on our budget. Because even though it's being reimbursed through the grant, we still have to raise and appropriate 300 and whatever the number is, 55, 60,000 for that. So that would alleviate that tax burden with the money in unreserved. That was a thought I had.
So basically you'd be paying over and above for the truck without having to take a loan out.
Without having to take a loan, right, so you would pay the entire thing off, get reimbursed the $255,000+ back into the unreserved fund balance. So the net cost to the unreserved fund balance would be the 110 and change, whatever it is. But not having to raise and appropriate the $365,000 in our budget this year to save.
So only
Right.
do 300,000 on that? Is that what you're thinking?
Hold on, I gotta get closer.
So right now,
So
what,
instead of buying 700,000 back?
buy 300?
But if you bought 300,000, that would allow us the money to buy that back and save that money. Because one way or other, we buy back $700,000 worth of taxes and raise and appropriate $365,000 for the truck.
This way, we're not paying interest.
This way, we're not paying interest.
We're not entering a lease agreement.
Right, we'll own the truck free and clear, done. No further cost to the town,
Right.
you know,
How did our unassigned fund balance get so high again?
FEMA.
Well, yeah, FEMA money, it finally hit us. Okay. Was able to take that.
So the question I have is, what came first, the idea of the grant, or
Yeah,
we,
because we didn't know what we had in the fund balance.
or the truck? Like, was the truck approved last year? Was this, or
No,
is
this is just.
No, the
fell
truck
out of
is
the
truck
sky.
scheduled
fell out of the
for-
sky?
The
That's what I'm
truck's
asking.
scheduled for 27.
The truck was scheduled for 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
We found the grant and said, we can't wait
Right.
because.
Right, it makes
Shouldn't
sense to
wait.
do it, if
Right.
we get it, you know, and
Okay, that was my question, so we are, because the concern about buying the truck without asking.
well,
But he
it would
wants
have
a
to be,
truck.
it would have to be
So
past the
something
town
has-
budget
yeah.
anyways. It would
Something
have to be.
is gonna come off the CIP by doing this, is the
Right.
point, we're not
Right,
gonna face it again.
and the only way to do this, again, correct
We're
me if
not
I'm
gonna face
wrong,
it
is
again,
we would
okay.
need
You need a warrant.
a warrant article to use the money from the, and the town would have to accept that at the town meeting,
Yeah,
to then pay for it out of that and replenish it with the grant.
Right, it's just the wording of the warrant article for the truck. One
Right.
way it'd say raise and appropriate 350,000 or enter a lease agreement for 300.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. This way it would just state to use 355,000 of the unreserved fund balance to purchase the truck.
that would be reimbursed at 250,000.
At $255,074 or whatever.
I just, the only part I like the whole thing, the only part I struggled with was asking the town if they wanna buy a truck right now.
Well, we're not,
You know
again,
what
it
I
has
mean?
to be approved at
Yeah.
town meeting, so
Right,
that's,
yeah.
so this way,
Yes,
we still get the grant,
yeah,
we still have all that,
Right.
but the town has to approve one way or the other.
yes,
So this way, instead of having to raise and appropriate the money,
okay,
We're
forcing
spending
our
money
budget
they
to be
already
high,
assessed.
to be higher, we're
Yeah.
gonna use that money, and then, again, replenish it, so we're only out actually $110,000+.
yeah,
And that remains in the unreserved fund balance, so then maybe next year, we have another surplus, we'll be able to
right,
to do what we think is the best interest of the town, but that way again, it's just wording, right? So we don't have to raise and appropriate into a lease agreement with anybody.
Well, you're still gonna have to use the words raise and appropriate, not to make you freak out when you
Right.
still see.
Right, but
Yeah.
but
Word.
from,
But it's- you can
from the
explain it away.
unreserved fund balance,
Right.
type of thing.
and not have to raise,
255 coming back.
right, and
So-
not have to, it doesn't add anything, correct me if I'm wrong, to the total budget number, because we're taking it out of unreserved fund.
Well, it's gonna all be in the warrant articles, it's not gonna touch your,
Right,
Budget.
right.
right.
Then the other question I have is if, we're doing that, and so we're basically gonna lay out the 110, now we're doing this a year and a half a year and a half early,
Mhm.
so to speak. The truck it's supposed to replace, what's the value of it, and does it can we make it a wash to get rid of that truck?
With the grant, that truck has to be decommissioned and scrapped. We can't do anything with it.
Yep.
The way the grant is written, we have to bore a hole the
It's
size
the
of a
emissions.
softball in the side of the
It's
block.
because of the emissions.
Right. It's a dirty truck. It
That's
doesn't
the-
have depth fluid, it doesn't, so the state, to get the grant, you have to agree to take a picture of a hole bored in the side of the engine block, and then you have to scrap it. You can't sell it to anybody. It
I-
goes to a scrapyard.
I thought this year DEF went away. It's still going?
Yeah, this
It's
is
the
the way,
worst thing.
the way the grant is written, we cannot sell. We get whatever
money.
proceeds from the scrapping,
Right,
which will be minimal.
But
right.
it's not gonna be a wash.
Right, we
Okay.
can't, there's no way we can't sell the truck, we can't, nothing, it has to be destroyed, scrapped, and proof of
And-
before we get the grant money.
And they want us to give them 2 weeks' notice just in case they wanna come and see it happen.
Right. So, we can't defer the other 110,000 because we can't do anything else with the truck other than scrap it.
Right.
We can't sell it, we can't, again, if it were up to me,
What
it'd be
about
great.
the parts, the bed, all that, I don't know which one, yeah.
I think, again, I don't know, he has to get rid of the whole
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
I believe, and I think
Tires.
the bed itself is pretty much of no use anyways, cause it's
Right.
20,
Yeah.
years
yeah.
old.
Just, it is.
and it's a mild steel
it's
bed,
in
it's
an-
not a stainless steel bed.
It's an environmental,
It's cash for clunkers for a diesel truck.
Exactly.
but it's an environmental assault by throwing away things that are like good tires, good tranny, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right, and again, what they do with it at the scrapyard
yeah,
has nothing to do with us, so if they
Okay.
strip it and sell the pieces they
Yeah.
think they can, that's not, we
Right.
just have to get it to the scrapyard
Okay.
in one piece.
right,
Which again, I agree with you, I don't like the fact that usable parts will then be crushed and sent over to China
yeah.
to be sold back to us as cheap steel, but it's the way the grant's written, so we
How
have
many of
to,
our fleet have DEF in now?
all but one, all but two, this one will replace one of
Cause
them.
I swore it was going away this year,
And
cause
I
it's
don't,
cost so much.
and I don't know
money.
what the federal regulations will do moving forward, but as of now, the wording of the grant is to get a clean
Alright,
fleet.
So Linda, if
It's
we
insane.
put in, and I don't know if you did it already, if
300?
we put in
300,000.
300 instead of 700, wherever we were at.
Yep,
I did,
that's 8.53%,
it would be 898 per thousand
898.
total, and the town portion would be 239. And this is the lowest the tax rate will have been since the 80s.
Yeah, cause last year was 4 something.
Yeah, it was $17 and change for the
Yeah, the
total
municipal,
number?
370
15?
379 is what we got the municipal portion down to,
So we'll be going
on a
to
$611,000 valuation.
So-
239?
The only other question I have is there another place where we want to do something similar?
That requires looking at the CIP, that requires prioritizing, that requires looking at projects, not
Right.
just equipment.
The only thing I was thinking in the conversation I had with Josh about the pavement, which he's gonna come and talk about in the next meeting, but knowing what we're staring down the barrel of as far as how far behind we are on paving, how much paving we have to do in the next few years, and if we don't do the paving, and I'm sure he'll explain this, it degrades at such a rate that our cost will significantly increase year after year of us pushing it, kicking it down the road. I'm not saying we use it, I'm just saying that it's the only spot that I can see
I agree.
moving forward, because we're looking at approximately $1.5 million worth of paving to do in the next few years.
Right.
And if we don't do it, and we kick the can down the road another 2 or 3 years, you're probably looking at more like $2 million worth of paving to do. And it could be more depending on what the AC prices go to, which the Fed sets.
And Linda, the paving warrant article, that doesn't go into a fund, it's just a non-lapsing article.
It's a 5-year non-lapsing, yeah, or
Right?
lap,
It
yeah.
doesn't go into an expendable fund or anything like that?
No, it just
Okay.
has it, usually it's a 5-year.
Use it or lose it.
Right, and again, like, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily pro that was just something,
Well, for me, it's, we don't have a place to put it. If we pull it from the general fund, we don't have an expendable trust fund to put it in for that purpose, and I don't think we can slide it into that non-lapsing article.
I didn't know where you were coming from.
If we were talking about using some of the unreserved fund balance for paving to offset that cost, I don't know how we,
Oh, I see
shift
what you're
that.
saying.
Right.
You'd have to use it in a certain amount of time.
right,
It might not be able to be lapsing then, right? I see what you're
right.
saying.
So,
Not
and
lapsing.
short of creating another expendable trust fund for paving to put that money into, I don't know how you do that. The other side of it is, I don't know, we're gaining interest on the truck and we're gaining not having a lease payment every year and all those sorts of things. I don't know if we're gaining anything.
Sure,
by pulling
I
it.
hear what you're saying. But again, that was
Right.
that was the only thing that came to mind.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense to me to do it that way. I'm just wondering how you
Do it.
Is
Point
this,
how you do it, and if you do it,
Mhm.
is it saving anything? Cause we're either gonna put it there or we're gonna buy it back, and we're essentially doing
The same
the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas with the truck, that's
It's saving
no-brainer.
future costs down the
Right.
road with the interest and such things.
Is this something that we have 2 more weeks to think about on a bigger plan because we have, I mean,
Setting the tax rate,
yeah,
No.
or this is tonight, do or
Yes.
die?
this is do or die, so Mike can get the tax bills out because
Yeah.
they have a date at which they need to be paid.
gonna have them due by December 3rd, well, December 31st is the goal to
Right.
have them
And,
due by. And it still takes a solid week or so to get them out.
so we either do a 205 or a 239, right?
Right.
That's the two? It's
In
either
my
864
opinion,
or 898.
in my opinion, we leave it where it is at the 300 and then shoot for using that other money to buy the truck.
You're basically saying the same thing, it's in one hand, out the other, so.
Right, but it just saves us entering a lease agreement.
And then we
Paying
have
interest.
255 put back in.
Right.
So if next year you wanna use it for your paving,
Or
Yeah,
even
it's-
buyback or
or
whatever,
buyback or
whatever it
whatever.
is, right.
yeah.
Or
I
able to
kinda-
buy back something, you're buying back almost 30 cents
Yeah.
of the municipal rate and saving money on this year's budget
Right.
at the same time.
I think they said leaving the 300,000 in there to buy back, or, using that to buy
What
back.
was this year's?
You get the
tax rate?
best of both worlds. You get to save a little on,
That
and
was
to buy some back.
And to buy something
Right.
back,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, you'll be
Three
leaving
seventy-nine
over $1 million
half, valuation was half.
in your balance.
So we're
And then we'll-
230
And then we'll pull
or 4, right?
360 out of it
To buy the truck
to buy the truck,
eventually.
and then it will be reimbursed
239 in our valuation.
So then with any luck, next year we'll have
So, yeah,
even
about
more
4.
to buy back
to
or
either
to
buy
do.
back or do the same thing.
Right, because if we can, because the other truck, I mean, not that we'd use those, but again, if we have the ability to get another grant for another truck or another whatever.
Or an
we'd be-
ambulance.
Right, something, fire, whatever it is,
Yeah.
would have that ability where, because if we end the year with $900,000 in there after the reimbursement from the grant, we wanna keep 550-ish in there anyways, that gives us 350,000 to be able to either buy back or do something else with.
So are we landing on the 864 or a different number? Is it
No,
898 for the,
898?
Total,
I like it there,
239 for the town portion,
239.
for the town.
for the municipal rate, yeah.
And this is all still waiting, we have to give this to DRA and ask them if it's okay before we can make it official, but.
Yep. I can't imagine they'll squawk at it with us leaving that much in there. Is there any other reason they have ever squawked at it in the past? I haven't seen one.
No, we've had it down as low as like 3%. They've never said anything that I'm aware of.
I personally just like the idea of this is how we save some of that interest money that we were
Yeah.
talking
Right.
about.
Yep, yeah, you're right,
And still able to
I
buy
hate
something.
paying interest.
and still not.
I don't
down
pay
the
interest.
Right, still be able to knock
We're
it
still
down.
at almost 50%. What was the tax rate last year? Sorry.
379?
1577.
379, and the total tax rate was
1577.
1577.
So we're not quite 50%, but we're close. 40%.
Not bad, yeah.
The other number, just to say out loud, is the requested overlay is at 80,000. that's having to do with abatements and things, cause you wanna kinda leave yourself a little cushion that if for some reason we had to pay out a lot of tax, give back a lot of tax money. Typically, we leave anywhere from 30 to 50,000 in there, and when I was talking with Michelle Clark, she said on a reval year, you typically
Leave more.
A little more.
double it, she said, but I thought that doubling it to 100,000 was a little excessive, because I really have confidence in the values that have come across with this new reval, that most of the things that anybody would be squawking about would be more like data things, like, oh, I don't have that shed anymore, you know, they're not gonna be huge hits to values.
Abatements,
It's-
yeah.
That's, in my opinion, the way I feel like it's gonna go, so I think 80,000 is a good number to have there, cause we really don't give out much back in abatements for the most part, so, even in 2020, we didn't.
Alright,
So you need a motion for 239?
I think we want it worded a certain way, so unless you wanna punch me, I'll
We'll
make the
go for
motion.
everybody.
I will make a motion to have 80,000 in the overlay and use 300,000 to buy back the tax rate, to set the municipal rate at $2.39,
An overall rate at.
and the
just to say.
overall rate at $8.98.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Motion by me, second by Jim, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm abstaining because I would want more time to put all the big pieces together.
A little grease on the
It's
papers.
down here, but. Alright. Old business, whatever, I don't wanna rush Linda. Are we looking at an Albert Road update?
Yes. Let me get myself in the right place. I spoke with everybody on Albert Road today. I talked to Mo, and I talked to Mr. Ferry, and Dana and I missed each other, phone conversations back and forth. But anyways, they've made some improvements, and the DPW made some improvements too, because they cleaned out those culverts at the bottom, at the base of the hill. They didn't get to the ditching, but they're feeling confident that things are still, anything that has been running down is not taking material with it. So they still have work to be done. Mo wasn't feeling well over the last week or so, he said he apologized for not having done more, but they're feeling pretty confident in what they've done, and we're hoping that it's acceptable for now, and they'll come back and revisit it in the spring like we talked about at the last meeting.
So the DPW has been up to check it out?
Yep.
And they're satisfied?
Yeah, for what they had to work with, but they do know that it's gotta have ditching and all that
I
kind
went
of
up and
stuff
looked
to
at it and
so.
drove it, and it definitely needs ditching, and I think it needs a different material on it overall,
Yeah.
it's like sand.
And Mr. Ferry has connections to people who know how to do road work and things like that. He's the newest person up there, so he's hoping to be able to, and more than willing to work with Mo and Dana to try and get everything
Good.
back in
Good.
place, so
Things are moving forward.
they're working towards it.
Is it would it survive a wet winter?
I don't know, I don't know.
I didn't think
Didn't
it
ask the
was,
question.
I thought it was much improved, but and all the sand at the bottom was removed to the big piles and stuff, but I didn't think it was graded in a way that it was gonna divert water anywhere but right down the center again, you know, because of the lack of ditching and grading into one side or the other. But they did have some of those pullouts cleared a little bit. It definitely was a lot improved, but it needs a little more, and if we get a downpour in November, who knows, they might be fighting an uphill battle and redoing a lot.
No, we'd be fighting it all winter.
Right. I mean, unless they fight it all the way and then get it done, you know, we still have time before the ground freezes. That's how I thought, but it was a lot, it was cleaned up a lot.
It doesn't sound like they plan to do much more this year.
Okay.
It's more like in the spring.
And that's acceptable to the DPW?
We can ask them.
I'd say, yeah, at this point. I mean, we're gonna be starting to get frozen roads sooner than later.
That would be the best case scenario.
Yes,
If it-
exactly.
If it freezes, then it shouldn't move.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right. With any luck, it'll freeze before it goes bad. But also, even if it's not acceptable to the DBW,
Still private.
what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
At least they're working with us.
They're working on it, and
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll keep it on the agenda to make sure we connect with them again in the spring.
Yep. Would you like the honors? The ball field lights?
Oh, well, yeah. Actually, I was hoping Michael was gonna still be here, cause I can see we got a quote for the lighting of the ball fields at $205,644.06. And that's not including the pole.
So it includes the poles, the 25-foot poles for the general lighting in between the fields. Does not include the 12 75-foot poles we need because they don't have those. They don't source 75-foot poles, so we'll have to find and source them elsewhere.
And my understanding is we haven't, or you don't know if Michael's heard back from the guy from the state that helps with grants for all this?
As far as I know, when I talked to Michael on Wednesday, he had just gotten this.
Okay,
He was emailing the guy back to have him break it into the 3 sections,
okay.
2 fields and the general lighting. And yes, as far as I know, at that point he hadn't heard. So, but our hope, looking at it, and with the general lighting, there is a map that they sent, which we don't have a copy of, that just shows the 2 fields and
Okay.
the lighting set up for the 2 fields and the general area.
So this is both fields, okay.
Yeah, and the general area, I think a lot of it could be taken out because a lot of it is set in where the pavilion is slated to go if that
Yep.
moving forward. The idea with the general lighting for us was just to have some lights on the parking area so that you could easily maneuver to your vehicle from the ball field at night. And we think that we could probably do that with the pole we have now, replacing the lighting and making it directional on the other side.
Yep. So this number's going to change.
Yeah, so I mean, again, don't quote me, but going through what we knew and what pieces went with the general lighting, it was about $55,000.
Mhm.
So if you take that out, you're down to 150. Looking at the map, there was 6 light poles for each field with the same amount of lighting on each one. So if you split that in half, you're looking at approximately $75,000
Per field.
per field minus
The poles.
the poles.
And the labor.
Right, so that's the material, so then we would need, our next step would be if we can get that broken down, to get it to an electrician, to just give an estimate on what the labor would look like, and then obviously we could probably find people to help with digging, trenching,
Trenching.
running the
DPW,
Conduits,
and
all
we
that
can
stuff.
use those.
Right, and we still are, I know that Michael was reaching out to Mary Kate
I was gonna say a
at,
public
at
service.
public service.
I don't know if he has or not yet.
I know that he could, now that he has this,
Okay,
he was gonna reach out to her again, I don't know if he did on Wednesday or not, but he had said that he was gonna reach out to her and see if he can get from them what we'll need to run this.
Okay.
And then I'm sure there'll be a site visit, she'll come out and,
and just so we have 40,000 in a reserve for that?
plus
Yeah.
the ball field.
We have roughly 40,000 in the ball field fund. We are using that yearly for Village Green.
Yep.
To maintain the outfield, so we do need to keep some in there, but yeah,
That's okay,
roughly 40,000.
okay. So I guess maybe Mike on the next meeting will see if he can't be here to give us an update.
Yeah,
Sure,
so hopefully by then
PSA.
he's heard from the
So
respective
we're actually
parties.
we're getting it down there, not too bad, I don't think. For
Right,
as
no,
long as
'cause-
this has been in place to do,
Right,
to get it down to 75 now.
cause I know that 13 years ago-ish, Michael called, and I don't know the lighting manufacturer or company, but
Mugsy or
yeah,
something like
they
that.
did, the ones that did Fenway Park.
Yeah.
And he got a price just for the lower ball field that many years ago at $160,000 for everything,
So-
so,
Which, to be fair, is probably exactly what you're looking at, once you factor in the 75,000 for this,
Yeah.
plus the poles and the labor.
right,
You're probably right around 150,000 for one ball field.
right,
Probably,
so, it's,
okay.
so we're making progress
We're getting
on,
there.
at least getting numbers,
Yep.
so.
Did anybody ever find out whether or not they have money that was donated starting 10 years ago when they first created the fund?
Um, I don't know the exact amount, no, I know there's money, but I don't know the amount.
Yeah, I don't know what.
But once we get solid numbers, then we can go into that.
Down that family wormhole.
Yes.
We'll start, I think once we get solid numbers, we might wanna start, like you said, looking at larger donors.
Right, and see, yeah, cause one of the things that we had talked about is
Even just
where-
for the conduit,
right,
that's a
where-
lot of conduit.
where we are a municipality, is it, what's the donation look like if there was a company that wanted to make a donation, would it or would it not
Well,
be
plus
tax
that-
deductible?
Plus that guy from the state that can get grants, they have
Right.
grants for all this.
Right, grants and there's grants and rebates for that sort of thing,
Yes.
so,
We gotta,
The guy from the Gibson Center, that, if I'm not mistaken, that community development block grant
yes.
is something that may be
applicable to
Applicable.
this.
applicable to this, cause we were talking about using it for,
Community events.
And what was that lady's name? Diane Lane, is it? Donna Lane? We'll have to try to remember her name, she does them.
but I think we should and Michael knows about that too, cause I think we looked into it for the pavilion and things like that, so it might behoove us to mention to Michael looking into the community development block grant, cause he would
He
be
could
able to
tell.
tell if it's, or
Falls.
have some idea if it's something we could use.
Very good. Well, thank you for all your work on that.
Alright. Health insurance 2026.
So I asked them for another plan with a higher deductible and a higher, copay.
And does Joe
that's
have
what-
this?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I know, he wanted it to be able to manipulate the numbers and things like that, but,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, the second page basically has the
Breakdown.
difference. It would be where the pink is and the pink and white block beside each
Mhm.
other is the difference.
So from 5 to 71, 10 to 14 total.
Yeah, the co-pays look like they go up $5 or $10 a piece.
Excuse me.
The deductible itself goes from 3 to 9 to 5 to 12. The other thing was that the maximum out of pocket goes from 5,000 to 10,000 to 7,150 to
14, 30.
But if I give these to Joe, he can do his magic and come up with what, he's got all those spreadsheets
Yeah.
all ready to go with these, the 7%, the 8%, 5 to 10%, this plan and that plan, and I think he
Gotcha.
would,
Does that
he
also
would
include
love to
the
get his hand.
cost of the town cause we pay for half the deductible? Does that
Um,
get factored in?
That usually comes out of that line, but we kinda
Figure
have
out,
to figure
right,
that
what the
out,
cost
because,
difference
yeah,
would be
right.
to cover 50% of the new deductibles.
Right, yeah, and how
Okay.
much we put into that HRA line, 'cause we did overspend it considerably this year, but, the deductible was higher, so the first half of everybody's deductible was higher, and, I think, yeah, so. But we still have time to decide on, you still have time to decide on this, and I would be happy to get this to Joe, and I'm sure he'd be happy to put some numbers together, and he would have it for the next
next Tuesday.
ABC meeting, which would get to you guys the week after that,
Okay.
That'd be good, thank
if
you.
I know Joe.
He's always good with numbers.
Yeah,
I definitely want him to look at it. I, just from a first glance, don't like the new deductibles. I don't like the idea of what that would do to our employees, but I definitely want Joe to take a look at it so we can look at those numbers.
That's a lot.
I'll try and send this over to him tonight, so I'll have more time to play with it. Alright, so I'll send Joe.
Alright. Oh,
I have two things. One is that, both conservation related. One is that at our meeting, there was a little celebration, so there was champagne, non-champagne, not real champagne, and dessert for the closing was today. there was a little teeny hiccup, cause I ran into Kate at the mailbox, and, it's not a big deal, it's just some equipment's on the land that's gotta be moved, but it's gonna, it'll be final on Wednesday, she thinks. So everything's in escrow, everything's ready to go, chain of ponds should be done on Wednesday, that's the first thing. And the other thing is, that, so there was no feedback from DES on the state of the fish. But it was, Josh and Mike were working on that, and they said they just didn't get a hold of anything. And I don't know how, you tell me no, I don't care, but I've never had any issue with DES at the state level. I've talked to them about several issues, and they always they've even called me when they didn't have to, and so I don't mind making that call if you're interested in finding out more about that.
It's not gonna hurt,
Yep.
all the way.
And there was no plan going forward to re-follow up from the conservation board, so I didn't know if that was, cause I would definitely give them a call and have a conversation for sure. And that's all I got, 2 things.
Joy?
So do we have, Nicole had asked last time, and it ties into the CIP, so I'll ask again. Do we have a policy for the disposal and sale of equipment?
There's no policy.
Okay. We should get one. Do we have even a loose template, or are we just, one time we can sell it on Municipid, another time we post it on Craigslist, there's just no,
Nothing I'm aware of. I looked back, cause I know you want a book full of all the policies and stuff like that, and I went through my drawer
Yeah.
to see what there was, and I didn't find anything related to something like that.
okay,
And, yeah.
okay. So obviously we should have one to make sure that we're getting as much money for things as possible, and that it ties into the CIP to support the purchase of the next thing. How would the select board like that to be handled? Would the select board like to come up with a policy? Would they like the CIP committee to take a stab at something? Or Linda, do you, would you?
If the CIP is interested in drafting something for us to review, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Do you want that, Linda, or do you want kind of, one of us can sit with you and ask what are our typical methods, or?
Whatever you say, I'll do whatever.
Okay.
I'd be in favor of anything free and out there like the internet.
To get us the most money as
Yeah.
possible.
Right, so that's why, I think
Yeah.
that's why we switched to Municipid, because it's free. The
Yeah.
buyer pays a premium, not the seller, and
Right.
it gets it out there to everybody.
Right. But there are some homes that, people that have a lot of land, that if you just put it on the local pages, that they need an old dump truck for their land or whatever, to work
Tell them it's on Municipid.
whatever, or you can, but they don't know that it's
Yeah.
available.
Well, I think,
you know
right,
what
you'd
I
have to
mean?
put it,
Yeah.
you're right, just
And
put
they're
it
not-
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, cause farm or whatever, they don't know, they're not using Municipid, they're just using for they're looking yard truck or whatever, something they have to maintain a road with, their own road.
Then the next one was policy for personal use of town property or equipment. I did find, Linda, you had given me a binder last year of some of the policies and stuff, and there was one in there that said that it needed a written authorization, I think, I can pull it out, written authorization of the department head, and notification of the select board.
I think
One
it says
member.
one member of the select
Does
board.
not say one member.
What version do you have?
Town of Madison property of any type or value shall not be used or removed from town premises without written authorization of the department head and notification to the Board of Selectmen.
Believe that's outdated. What's on the front page of your?
2021? That's
November
November
21?
2021.
Yeah, there's a new version, because I know for a fact that, it was voted on that it was just be one selectman, and you have a you have a personnel policy. I gave everybody a brand new
No,
one.
that's true, you did.
I wanna say that was fairly recent, it was either right when I got elected or right before when I was sitting on the other side,
'Cause
I remember.
Yeah, I remember John saying that.
I feel like at the very least, it should be as it was written, as I just read it, at the very least, because I feel like the whole board should be aware. When I have people contacting me and
Well-
asking me, you know, things like that the whole board should be aware of.
So
stuff
it's
like
in
that.
this packet, this one with the evaluations?
Yeah, there
Okay,
should be a
that's
personal
one I'm
policy
taking
right
out,
there.
yeah, I'll take that.
I think I did, didn't
Just,
I?
I'm sure you
Years
know
or so.
things come up, and it came up, I don't know, while I was sitting on this board, where it's not always feasible to notify the entire board.
It's an email.
Huh?
It's an email from Linda with all of us on BCC.
Oh, it's not always Linda that knows, and I
And the
don't know, I
department
don't
head.
remember all of the details, but I was in Portland, somebody needed to borrow the excavator, and Josh gave written permission and called me to let me know. You're not gonna notify the entire board in that instance, and I don't know that it's necessary, especially with department head written authorization.
I don't know if we're stepping into non-public territory, but
Yeah,
There's-
I
there's-
wouldn't name names, I would just.
no, but there's
yeah.
just a lot of feedback.
Does the board grant permission to use?
No.
Okay, so it's just
Just a notification.
so, okay, but then my thought is, again, I guess I don't really care one way or the other, but if we're not granting,
The way I understand it, based on the last conversation, it's mostly about, so when somebody calls with a concern, hey, I saw this over there, you just be like, yep, I got an email about that yesterday, it was authorized, that's all I think it's for. So, that everybody was in the know.
Right, and I don't have a problem with everybody getting an email, I'm just saying you're holding them to, if it's in this policy, they're not allowed to give the equipment, in my mind, if it's in here, they can't borrow the equipment until everybody knows. And if you send an email and you don't respond, I
I
don't
don't think we
consider
Not what
that.
that is, that's not what that is. Notification is just, it went out.
Yeah, I wouldn't
An email went-
warn it, maybe a
Notification
thank
versus
you. Hey,
acknowledgements.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just wanna make sure that maybe acknowledgement by one selectman, but I don't know that we all need to acknowledge it in that moment, is my point, I guess.
So did anybody find it?
I'm looking.
I'm looking.
There's a lot of pieces
I
in
know,
here.
there's so
So
much.
basically,
It
what
should
you're,
be on the same
what you both are
page
saying is you want
you
us
found
to
it
stay at the
before.
one selectman say, yep, okay, and then when it's done and over or whatever, throw out an email to all the board, so everybody knows.
Shall not be used or removed from town premises without written authorization of the department head and notification to the board of selectmen. It's the same thing. This is the one that you gave us.
Then there's something wrong, I've just done something wrong.
never.
Which is fine, if that's how it is, that's how it is,
I'll double check myself, I'm 99.9% sure. I remember
Oh, well,
sitting in
this
that
is
meeting.
November of 21 too.
That's the last one I have, is November of 2021.
No, there's definitely a new one.
Did you see that last one? Suggestions, oh, that's still the 2021.
Yeah. Oh, it says, there, see amended 08/23/2022, but I
Actually, yeah,
don't
that's
see,
the one you gave us, was the
but I don't see
2021
that
one.
Doesn't say amended on the front of anything?
It does,
Approved, oh, 8/23 of 22?
yeah, it says it was amended of 22.
8/22.
but it doesn't say what was amended.
I will look into it.
And what's our liability when it comes to someone using the roll-off truck or a town container? Like do we have them sign a waiver that if they get hurt using town equipment on their property that the town isn't liable? Or is the town liable by default if something happens?
I don't know that the town would be liable by default, but I'm also not an attorney.
Do we have safety protocols that are different? Are those Primex questions or Cordella questions?
Well,
Or both, I suppose.
if you're talking about a town employee driving a town truck or a town piece of equipment, they're covered under our insurance regardless.
They're probably what?
They're covered under our insurance regardless. They're on our insurance as a driver or what have you, depending on what they're in.
Yeah, well, I think that the concern would be like after hours on a Saturday afternoon, somebody had an issue and they needed a dump truck and one rolled over, which we know has happened. You know, and it rolled over while they were using it and it wasn't for town purposes, would there be an issue?
I guess it's a question for Cordell.
Or they were working with a excavator on their own land and they hit a power line or something like that, you know?
Well,
And that could be serious.
That seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, that would be personal liability at that
Yeah,
point.
It's personal liability as opposed to equipment, but I can understand the, you know,
Just-
accident on a road,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, it's just the world we live in,
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
unfortunately.
And then just general, CIP meeting was probably 2.5 hours. I joined by phone, from the discomfort of home. And talked about the DPW needing the salt shed. Fire department is requesting or looking into, in the not so distant future, massive building upgrades. Chief would like more room down here or somewhere for their storage as the department grows. Mad TV still needs a home. Folks like the idea of trying to resurrect the second floor in this building, and all tying it all into the master plan. So CIP and master plan obviously hand in hand at this point in any big purchases really, because all of this is happening now at the same time. So we just have to make sure that everybody's working in concert and talking to everybody else. It's great to have Tia involved in all of it because she can be that communicator. All right, that's it.
Nope, we covered all mine already.
I've got nothing other than we're still waiting to find time for the volunteers that I have to appeal to field. There's been a few setbacks, but
I take that back.
we're
Sorry.
getting there.
How'd the Halloween go? I was going and I didn't hear.
Halloween event was great. We carved 35 pumpkins. They're actually still out here, I think.
And the trick or treat went well down there?
They're gone.
Oh, that was our event. You were talking about trick or treat.
Trick or
You're right.
treat. How was the
Trick or
trick or
treat
treat?
went flawlessly. I spoke to the chief the
that the
day
place-
after, and he said
Place
that
to go?
things were great.
Okay.
It
The
seemed
one
busy.
concern that we had
Okay.
is that it's dark.
It's very dark.
So
Yeah.
again, it was fine. There was no. I mean, I think that's more of a comfort issue for certain parents, especially if the young kids are out.
Gotcha.
You're not like, I mean, teenage kids,
Yeah.
they go in the dark all the time.
That's the thing.
And again, it wasn't an issue, and they're, because everything's 2 acres, they're spread apart.
Yes.
But I mean, I think it was good. There seemed to be a pretty good amount of community involvement
Yeah.
in the.
Okay.
I mean, I walked a good chunk of that development, and I only saw half a dozen houses with their lights off.
Yeah, like I said,
It
it
was
was
Good,
pretty
alright.
well. It was well attended, and there
I
were.
hadn't
it was
heard
cold,
so.
windy.
It wasn't really windy. There were a number of people parked in friends' driveways with trunks and
Yeah.
Yeah.
all kinds of things going on. It was good.
Traveling.
I got the kids out and about.
Good.
Yeah.
So maybe you can give them those little glow sticks next year or something for they can wear.
We talked
you know,
about maybe,
'cause it's-
again,
so
like
they-
if we could figure out the parking part of Banfield Hollow,
Yeah.
that's well illuminated and everything's really close, so you could
Yeah.
get more in less time.
You forget how much of a walk carved in bone
Yeah,
is
and
until
driving,
you do
right,
it.
until you do it,
Yeah.
right, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
But again, I think for what it was, I think it was
Maybe
great,
do
it
once
worked
in
great.
a week and a half.
Maybe rotate every other year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, if we can figure out the parking over there, but yeah,
Okay.
I saw the chief at the soccer tournament the following day, and he didn't have any complaints.
Tessa was there, she drove through, and
Yep.
it was good.
Okay, good. That's all. I did have something meant.
And we will get to the ball field as soon as possible. The only other thing that I have is we do need to find a place to store our really nice brand new soccer balls.
Ooh.
Do they break down?
Yep.
Well, that's weird.
The good ones don't. They are on wheels. They need to be moved from there essentially for soccer season. I would assume we're gonna store them outside because I don't know that we have interior space for something that large.
21 feet long,
Yeah,
7 feet tall,
yeah, 7.5.
7.5 feet tall, yeah.
Yeah.
Put 'em
That's
in.
pretty big of net.
I would love it if we had a container to put them in, but I don't think that we do. or a place to put them inside, it's just a matter of where do we want to put them before it snows, hopefully, so that they're off the field for,
Right.
for baseball season in the spring.
Yeah, and again, you don't wanna leave the nets out in the UV.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
want
wanna
to.
take the nets off, right?
No,
No,
no. No, I don't.
okay. Well,
I
cause you know
but
what
yeah,
I was
I know what you mean,
thinking?
I just,
I
they
was
come with
thinking
special,
we could hang them on the outside of one of the buildings, like on the back of a building or
they come with special straps for the, base bar
Yeah.
and the, well, I guess all three base bars, and then they just have the clips. The clips, fine, they're not fun. If I have to take them out, I can, but the zip ties that are on them are
Really
1
big.
inch
Oh
wide
my
zip
God.
ties, they don't come apart.
You gotta
They're
cut
not-
them and replace them,
Yeah, they're meant to stay.
maybe tarp it for them.
We could tarp them to keep the UV off of them. The only problem with that is then you're talking about snow building up on the tarp because it's not falling through the
Break in
net.
your balls.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it could crush them.
Yeah. So, I guess at this point, like I said, I don't think we have a place to put them inside. It's just a matter of talking to Josh and whoever else to see where's the best place to put them so that they're not in the way.
I would bet that there might be somebody with a barn around here that might,
That's,
if we reached out,
it would be nice to get them inside somewhere.
yeah,
Can you transport them to a barn?
I can.
On a trailer, yeah.
yeah.
Trailer.
Yeah.
I could put, I'll
Sounds
check on Facebook, cause maybe we can get somebody that has, it would have to be a pretty good sized door, it's not like
Yeah,
a rinky
they're,
dink,
Hard to-
right?
they're 7.5 feet tall,
Okay,
21 feet long, and I wanna say
6
5.5 or 6 feet deep. So it's a
So-
6-foot door when you're going in.
okay, alright, so regular door, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
But yes, if that's an option, I would love to get them
Yeah.
indoors for the winter. And I have a trailer that can translate one at a time, probably. Might be able to get both on there, but maybe pushing it.
Piggyback them.
We'll see. But that's it for me.
At the ABC meeting, there's a company called Alpha. They do building evaluations. They're gonna do it for the school. The SAU's trying to get it done for the 3 schools.
Yep.
The potential problem is one of the schools is kinda wishy-washy on participating. So if they don't have 3 entities to do it, they're not going to do it. So I was asked to present to us to see if maybe we would want, if they do this for, say, the town building, and they go over windows, roof, all that stuff, they do a complete breakdown of your structure, what should be done, when it should be done, kinda, so we would have a breakdown of what it is. Again, don't have the cost for the, obviously for this area, but,
And would we want them to do all the town buildings, like,
well, that would be a thing,
Town hall,
so
fire
would,
department.
would it be,
Yeah.
would we, again, would we wanna
Library.
have them to do just the town hall, would we want them to do
Is it
all the buildings?
energy audit?
It's no,
Yeah.
it is like a structure audit as far
Okay.
as they'll look
capital
at the
planning.
school, they look at all the windows, they look at the siding, they look at the roofing, they look at, then they'll say, alright, your roof's gonna need to be done in the next 7 years, this
Right.
needs to be done in the next 10 years. It just gives you
Right.
an idea of what the maintenance schedule should look like.
Mhm.
So that moving forward, again, planning in the CIP or whatever, we would have, alright, so we know that this is gonna need to be done at the town office, or this is gonna need to be done if we do all the buildings, the garages, the
Right,
library and all that.
I'd definitely be interested in hearing what that costs.
Right,
but-
yeah, so, I mean, I'll tell them Tuesday that we would be interested in at least exploring what that looks like,
Yep.
moving forward.
Sure.
that's next Tuesday.
Yes.
Not tomorrow.
6 o'clock, it's gonna be fun.
I know, I've been trying to get to it, I was in Florida last week, so.
I wish I was in Florida last week.
Oh my god, it's 80, it was so perfect.
Linda, do you have anything else?
Well, last week when I was asked to put something on the website about who's eligible for, or to say,
Veterans Monument?
I went to put something on there and I just really didn't know what the criteria is, just, anybody, what is the criteria? Do you have to live here for so long? Do you have to, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I didn't know what to write. So I asked Michael if he had anything in writing from when this whole thing started, if there was something, and as far as I know, we couldn't find anything in writing, but we've drafted something to try and come up with a starting place, so at least, I guess part of it is too, which I like how we wrote this a little bit, is that, it's gonna come through you guys, it's just not someone's just gonna drop this off and then I say, okay, put that name on there. I think it should be reviewed and approved.
Right.
Because this is, forever. This time it's gonna
I'm
be
trying to
forever.
think, because when they started this, they put a survey out to all the veterans. I remember doing it,
Mhm.
but I don't remember what was on the survey.
Yeah,
Because it had all that. Do you want just this, or do you want all? And then something about living here, but I don't remember the time grant.
Yeah. and I didn't, and it just made me, I just didn't know what to write on there, so I thought maybe this is a good time to actually come up with some criteria or something that.
I remember because I hosted the veterans a lot at the store, and when they were talking about it, and one of the concerns at the time was, having somebody, it's not that you don't wanna be inviting, but sometimes people live in Madison for 6 months or a year,
Right.
and this isn't like home to them.
I wonder if we
Doesn't
should put in this,
So maybe you
if you
could,
serve while living here.
Well, that's what's
or,
on this letter.
Oh, okay.
or
So-
if you, if you
I didn't
have,
see that.
if you have served and you've decided to make Madison your home, you know what I mean, your forever home.
Right, and like,
Please come see us about getting on our, something
Okay.
like that, rather than somebody who might be more transient, like, I know I'm gonna go be off somewhere else.
right, and that's why I hesitated to just say, bring in your GD 214, we'll put your name on there, because
Okay,
it just seems too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cold.
So there is a
yeah,
letter
too
here,
open.
Oh, there is?
yeah, in your department head list.
Okay.
I didn't know it either.
So if I'm reading this correctly, the only one that I may not agree with for those reasons is 5. It says, or have been honorably separated or discharged from active service. But it doesn't give a criteria for having lived in the town of Madison and been honorably separated.
Well, I think that the and after 2, you have to,
Okay.
be either 1 or 2.
And, yeah.
And one
then
of
you
those.
have to
Minimum
do
90 days active.
3, and then
And
or
4
4
or
or
5.
5. I
Okay.
think there's another way to write it, but I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
this is somewhere to start, is
I
what
gotcha. I get it now.
So, I mean, it's, I guess we could say it's not anything that has to be done tonight, I
Right.
I just hope that you agree with me that we should probably have something
The only,
definitive that,
Yep.
instead of just,
Yes.
the only other thing I can think of is this doesn't leave, and I don't know anybody off the top of my head that would fit that criteria, but this doesn't leave room for anybody who may have served before moving here and then not re-enlisted, but then this became their permanent home for the last 40 years.
I know, I can think of 2 people off the top
That's,
of my
that's
head that
just
are your neighbors.
mine.
Oh, Ted?
Yeah,
Oh, I was
like,
like,
yeah.
oh, mine-
right?
Mine
So,
enlisted
and they're
while she
not
lived
going
here.
anywhere, they're setting down roots big time, so.
Everywhere.
And they didn't re-enlist after they moved here, so.
Right, I just wonder if there should be a time, having been honorably discharged and also resided in Madison for at least the last
Well,
10 years.
and it's resided or owned, I mean,
Yeah.
there's all
Right,
kinds
yeah.
of ways that you
Ways
could,
to do it.
It
yeah.
was originally over at the church, and then 2010-ish,
Right, I can remember when
they
did
moved
this.
it.
Mhm.
And so the town reports, cause I was looking up to find the original wording of the warrant article that created the fund for the CIP stuff, just tracking down all the funds, and saw lots of history about it, here, it was here, and so somewhere in there, since I had it all open on my computer, I can just go back and see if
But
it
it
says.
was a survey mailed to all of us back
When,
then.
back in 2010, okay,
When they
maybe,
were gonna put this here, they mailed you a survey.
cause there was a committee
had
that
a-
did a report every year.
They
in
did a
the town
lot of
board.
stuff on that, and
So-
they asked you what you thought should be on it.
Alright.
Who should be on it, how it should be on it.
I'll go read those
I don't-
reports and look.
It's a long time
so,
ago.
so short of putting, I mean, I did update the page a little bit with a new picture instead
Yeah.
of when they were building it.
Yeah.
From 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But I have hesitated to put anything like this, but I'll keep this on our radar and maybe we can talk
Mhm.
about it again,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
think about it.
But I do agree, there's gotta be a certain amount of time you live here after you
Yeah.
get out in order to be put on. But
Yeah.
just have to
Yeah.
figure
Or
out
you
the
So
way.
we're going to
decided-
see somebody who's a
Right.
veteran move here for a year, get their name on the monument, and then decide they
Not
want
to
to live in.
leave.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
in
came up a few
Florida.
times in the talk, so,
Mhm.
yeah, it's gotta be like, have you decided to call Madison your home, you
Right,
know?
and do a time.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, 10 years,
You've been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
you can get put on it.
Yeah.
Maybe 15, whatever.
And that other piece in there from Jim was just
update on
reiterating what he talked to you guys about,
Yep.
last week.
Prices.
Just wanted to
Yeah.
have it in
Yep.
paper, you didn't need a discussion on it or anything.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it was done, but I cut you off, I didn't ask you if you were done.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay.
Yep, that's it, that's all I had.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Are you all set, Linda?
Yes.
Alright, I will take signature item.
Oh, look at that. Holy.
I feel like I have like 3 minutes
Just
before
We're
that.
all over, just
You talk down
Is
below.
it from sitting?
No,
Like,
yes,
to take
yes. No, I'm not below one, yes, it's from City.
well, my husband's back was really
I
bad.
need one of these
the
6
first
lines as well.
He couldn't
Yeah.
sit, so when we went to go get a dog, it was
Yeah, I
like
don't
3
know,
hours
6.
away.
Hey,
Found it
you
online.
have a-
I had
you have a
to take
spot
him
you can
like
put your
a
name
minute
on.
the road. He's like, he forgot to.
That was just me.
That was just you?
So every bump I hit, he was
Oh,
dying.
yes,
That's
sign the
just that.
warrant out of session. Because I'm gonna send this over to DRA, they're gonna bless
What?
they're
That's
gonna
just
bless the tax rate, and then we'll print the warrant and ask you to come in,
Sign it
And
up.
So
sign
we
that
have to sign
session.
it out of session.
if someone would like to.
I will, make a motion to sign the warrant out of session.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Sign the
Aye.
warrant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the tax warrant.
Tax one,
Oh,
so they can get it done.
Oh, yes, the tax
The
warrant
tax
out of
warrant,
session, yeah.
Yep.
We're not
Yes.
gonna go
Yes.
scratch anybody.
Mo-
sorry.
Motion by me, second by Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we'll,
Where is?
There you
did I not
You
give
need
you
a pen,
one?
you got one, right?
Oh, it's
Oh,
by
it's
the
just
X,
up here.
yeah, sorry.
Right near your
Open
name.
your eyes, Adam.
They're all right there on the X.
Just you?
I didn't
Yeah,
highlight
just
the
him.
X this time.
That's just
Yeah,
Adam.
come on, Linda.
Just
These are
Adam.
all just Adam. This is the only one Adam has to sign you up to, it's
Okay.
for all of you.
That's just Adam.
Um,
Man in charge.
So they don't twist it.
Yes, yes,
We
so
only got a couple more months of that if
with
they don't
any-
run it yet.
with any luck, they'll bless us on
That'll be
Wednesday,
Jake's turn.
not Thursday. And then we'll get it. I'll let you know, and I'll just leave it on the counter and come by and sign.
And we can. Super.
Alright, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion.
moved. Yeah, hey, there you go. Joy's on it.
I'm on it.
Motion by Joy, second by Jake. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anywhere, there's.
Well, yeah.
I don't know your names yet, but thank you,
Good
camera
job.
crew. We'll get there.
Evan and Lauren.
Evan and Lauren.
If I don't get a motion, you guys are getting out of here.